Hello everyone and welcome to episode 76 of the Gollum's Gamers podcast, where today we're going to be doing another tier list episode. It's been a very long time since we've done one of these, but they're really fun to record, so we wanted to do another one. And today we're going to be doing a tier list of every Fight 7 hero in MESBG. We thought this would be quite a fun sort of category to compare all the different Fight 7 heroes against each other. So that's what we're going to be doing, although we did forget Grimby on, unfortunately, so we'll just have to live with that one, I'm afraid. Anyway, I'll be joined by Sam, Ash, and Jay. As always, you can find us on Instagram and Spotify by following the links in the description down below. You can find the link to our Patreon as well, if you'd like to consider supporting the channel, where you can get some Gollum's Gamers branded dice and widgets and all that sort of stuff. And also remember to subscribe to us here on YouTube. So let's get into it. Coming up next, it's a Fight 7 tier list on the Gollum's Gamers.
Oh.
Sam, you're literally Frodo right now.
He's the hero.
Well, let's kick things off. So, Ash, we're very fortunate to be joined tonight by Sam and Jay. Welcome back to the both of you, to the podcast. It's been a while. Thank you for coming back. They're fine. Nothing's happened. Sam's been busy with uni stuff. He's still here. He's playing SBG. Nations Cup coming up next month.
I'm going there. It'll be my first tournament back since
the finale.
Since
the FAQ. Yes. Oh yeah, into the West. Of course. And then Jay,
what are your thoughts on the FAQ, Sam?
Jesus Christ. We are not going to be going into the FAQ at the start of a tier list podcast. That is a rage bait there from Mr. Walker. I will hand it over to Mr. Jay Achai, though, coming off his hot GT win. Do you have the trophy there, Jay?
I do have the trophy.
Yeah, he's got it here. Look at that. What a winner. Let's go. So it's the perfect time for Jay to come back into the fold. I didn't even bother looking when you were last on because it was that long ago and I've been there for a while trying to find which podcast. So we're doing a Fight 7 hero tier list. Every Fight 7 hero in the game, you can see them there on your screen. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen any of our tier lists before, it's been quite a long time. If you are the very best Fight 7 hero, you are aiming to be in our lemon category. And then descending down from there, our categories are named silly nervous, nervous, dog, and then Spurs, which I don't understand why that is. Who would like to inform the audience?
Go on, Ash.
go on. Yeah, Ash, you explain, mate.
No. I'm a Pompey fan. I don't have as much. I don't have much skin in the game. I think Jay is itching to do this one.
Right, so there's no Spurs fans here, so no one's going to take offence. Those of you who are
definitely not.
Those of you who are watching or listening, then please do take offence because that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So, obviously, as we know, Spurs are at the moment absolute dog. However, we've got a dog category. They're actually worse than dog. But if you are
what's worse than dog?
Spurs, and hopefully they get relegated and make everyone's year.
God, strong words from Jay in his return to the podcast scene. Love to see it. Okay, so in terms of the tier list, now there has been controversy back and forth in previous tier list episodes about exactly how we do these rankings. It can sometimes spill out of control.
I'm not really sure you're on that.
Slightly. Never. No, that has not happened. But we are going to be taking everything into account. So, let's say Aragorn King Elessar, for example. It's like we could compare all of these heroes just with everything in their profile, so the stats and the rules in their profile. But with Elessar, for example, he's got the rule in Men of the West where he can increase the fight value of everyone. Like, do you take all that stuff into account for every hero as well? So we've decided yes. So we're going to be including absolutely everything when we compare all these heroes. Let's get into it then. We're starting off. I've sort of tried to group them by race. So we have some dwarves to start things off. So we have Thorin, Fight 7, heroic, combating Thorin. Now, Sam, you've used Erebor Reclaimed a fair amount. Where's your take to start things off here?
I think he's upper echelons of the tier list. I think being just a natural 3-inch banner now, say compared to last edition, which was ages ago. To all dwarfs is really good. The ability again to two-hand as well, and him just get a natural 6 is really good for him. It makes him actually quite a killy. It's only if you really take Orcus right.
I guess to be fair, Are we going to include things like Ori in this? Because I guess because everyone runs him with Ori, but I don't know.
I mean,
it's like Aragorn's much better if you pair him with Leggy, I guess, right? But like, can you include that? I don't know.
No,
Ori's
I'd say do on his own.
Then you start going into just reviewing the list.
Yeah, I think it has to be on his own. Yeah. So no Ori, but still he can two-hand, which is nice. Yeah, he's got the combat.
Yeah, I guess it's two-hand. He's fairly cheap as well in like the grand scheme of things compared to a lot of these heroes, I'd say.
Yes, obviously no goat this edition, but I don't think it's hurt him too much. Like you can still do a lot.
He's just a bit more safe, I think. People just play him a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the one fate, so he's still.
Yeah.
You know, he could have randomly died to any kind of combat if something gets lucky, but you roll bad fate or whatever. You have to spend money on it.
Yeah. Obviously the combat's worse this edition as well because it's only when he charges now. It's not just like all the time. But his banner's better, so it affects him now as well, which is super nice.
Yeah, I think he's. I do like what they've done with Thorin. He doesn't get his free. Oh no, I guess because you do get the list rules. He also gets the ability to have heroic march as well, which is
Cinema reclaim.
Nice to have.
And charge,
can he be taken in? And charge.
So
can he be taken in any other list, like Iron Hills? No,
not Iron Hills. I don't think he.
Iron Hills is just like completely fallen off the map as a list now.
Yeah, he's on Assault and Ravenhill, isn't he?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, so God, is he like Mecha Beast in that list?
I don't think he's a Mecha Beast.
It's already a can of worms.
He's a 6 banner and it counts for VPs, basically.
Yes.
So we're counting that. I mean, that's.
And if he's engaged in combat with 6 inches of Dwalin, then Dwalin gets a free combat. I'd say he's nervous personally.
You are?
I'd put him in silly nervous personally.
Silly nervous.
I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say like the lack of being able to mount him is really kind of annoying because obviously that is so much killing power. But the fact that two-handing has become more viable, and the fact that you can march and still charge, so you've effectively got him moving 8 inches anyway, which is what is all he had with the goat. I don't think the only thing you lose obviously is knockdown. I think he's definitely one of the better Fight 7 heroes, and in the context of the list, really important.
Yeah. Jay, anything to add there?
I think from my perspective, Sam touched on it earlier. I think it's the value for points. I think I'm sure when we come on to other heroes later, I think for what you get for his points, even though he's one fate, the D8 I think is big. He's got so many buffs. I think, I really like him.
Yeah, and if he had the goat, obviously, if he had the goat, you're then paying another 20 points. So suddenly he's 150, and then that's a much bigger sink. Like that's 2 more dwarves. And lots of heroes have had that sort of treatment where they've lost their mount this edition. So I don't think it hurts as much as you might think when you look at that in a vacuum. Go on, Ash.
I think Orcus as well for 10 points really makes him just like next level good because obviously a lot of the lists that Evil run, you see lots of orcs, and being Fight 7 with that Elven Blade really makes you a top contender to take out other heroes.
Yeah, agreed. So we've put him at the top silly nervous to start things off. Obviously you're aiming to be to the left-hand side of the category you're in. We rank them within the categories. So we will move on next to Dain Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills, who can only be taken in the Iron Hills list, which, as I mentioned, has kind of fallen off the map. Does anyone even know anything about the Iron Hills list? What it lost?
That is the trouble with this edition, right?
What does it do?
So many lists. To remember all the rules is really hard.
Just to add in, he can be taken Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah, true.
Oh, God, I didn't even know that. There you go.
And
I mean, they still kept their +1/-1. And they basically get like a shield wall reroll ones, basically. And he was 4+ Master Spell, right? Prior. Now he's 5.
The thing that is immediately apparent for me with Dain is what Jay just mentioned, which is value for points, because he is a lot more points than Thorin for kind of what you get, right?
He's
I guess the boar's way better because obviously it's got the still has the 2 wounds. He assumes.
The two wins round, yeah, is good, but it's also like I think he's weird because he's like situational. I think if you all of a sudden some form of terror list is like seemingly ridiculously good, then he kind of increases in value.
He gets better.
The 12-inch thing, 12-inch fearless, but like,
yeah,
it's hard to pay 160 for it in a list that is not exactly right.
But you're going to take him with the ball, aren't you?
And that's on foot.
185.
Yeah, so 185 is very steep.
Yeah.
Like, he still does, what you would expect Dain to do from last edition on the board. I think it's just the lists that he's in, like, in 5 armies, he's so far down the pecking order for his points. So
I think his trouble again is that he just doesn't have any way to deal with magic. It's not obviously
magic less of a thing this edition, but it's still obviously a huge problem if he were to face it.
I just said we shouldn't compare him with other with combinations, but obviously you look at Thorin, he can take both, and then he's basically magic resistant.
Oh, so now we're comparing both.
No, that's just an example. Like, you look at Aragorn, he's got his magic resistance. You're paying loads of points to potentially just do nothing.
Yeah. So where does
which
that
is really not good
put him? Does that put him in nervous or potentially lower in the context of Fight 7 heroes?
The thing is, he is arguably the most killy, one of the killiest heroes in the game by like country mile.
Yeah.
Is anyone taking him? Surely if no one's taking him, he's not that good.
I could see him, like, the thing is, the higher points you go, the better he comes. Like, I could see him in a Battle of Armies at 1,000 points,
but at 1,000 points though, you're quite likely to face magic, and then
he's not the only hero you have, right? You have
but then he is probably the one that you're shutting down. Where, like you say, he's one of the most killy heroes. Like, he's target number 1.
He just has natural value for his fearless and stuff, right? But
it's the 12-inch fearless that is really, really
that is good. Yeah.
It's like, how good is it for 185 points?
Well, that's it. It's a big thing. Yeah, even at 1,000 points, like, you're needing Dain to do something right? in that list.
He has to move in 12 inches. It's not like Men of the West, where it's unconditional as long as Aragorn's right. Not unconditional. It's only if Aragorn's alive. It's unlimited range, is what I meant to say.
Yeah. So where does that land, Dain? Sam, what do you think is slightly higher than?
I think he's
nervous.
Yeah, I think pound for pound, like the boys have said, very killy. Probably better than Thorin at killing with the strength 5 burly, more survivable with the 3 fate, has really good buffs. I just don't really see a place for him when you compare him to other heroes, given the list he's in.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, I think nervous is fine.
Yeah, okay. We'll see where he ends up at the end. Up next, we have the revamped, the glow up for Durin. In Kingdom of Khazad-dûm. Now, obviously the list has had loads of buffs. He hasn't had many changes. He was Fight 7 last edition, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, he was last. Yeah, and he had quite a lot of sort of unique tech with like the Warhorn, the Ring of Durin and stuff in his profile last edition. So he's just kept all that stuff. I don't think has anything changed in his actual profile. I'm not sure anything changed. I don't think.
Nothing from memory.
To Sam.
It was just everything.
Never used the last edition. This thing, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was Fight 7. He was D9. He had the 1 fate, fearless. Yeah, defense. I think he had. Yeah, the mithril armor. I guess that's sort of better now because there's more monsters around. So that's nice. Yeah, he has the hicks up save. He had that as well. So yeah, I think everything's the same. But obviously the list around him has got a lot better. But I guess we can't take into account if the list got better, if there's no rules in there that impact Durin specifically, right?
Yeah, I think he was 160 last edition. Is the only thing.
Up slightly. Yeah, okay, so 170 now.
Might be totally wrong there, but
yeah,
I want to say he's gone up 10.
Yeah,
like he still is very good. I mean,
but I think people maybe didn't rate him that highly last edition because the list was all so bad. Now the list is good. It's like, I think I think I was on the record saying last edition that I quite like Durin. as a profile. It was just the list wasn't that good. I think for 170 points for your leader, like he does bring a lot to the list with the Ring of Durin, the Warhorn, D9. The one fate is sort of like, quite a big drawback for a leader, but he is D9. So fight 7, super good. So I think he's really good.
Put it this way, if you got rid of his name, got rid of the name of his special rules and just saw the profile and the stats, I think you'd rate him quite highly.
There you go. I think that's it.
Wouldn't you guys agree?
I think I would.
Yeah.
I think he's
as well is really nice.
It's really, really good. I think he's like maybe bottom of silly nervous. Like, I think he's better than nervous, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
he's not as good as Thorin for his point.
No.
I think he's interestingly enough, I agree he is better than Dain.
Yeah, I think nervous would be kind of playing him down a little bit.
But given I know the list is a lot better, but even despite that, do we think, because you could only take him in one list, that lack of versatility in terms of just one list, does that mean you drop him down to top of nervous?
Can we include how many lists they're in? I guess, are there many heroes here that are in lots of lists? I guess if you're in ones like the 5 armies, like these mashup lists.
This is like so interesting to try and rank stuff.
Yeah,
in this way.
all these.
Yeah.
It's so contextual. I guess the way I think about it is it doesn't really matter how many lists they're in. It matters if they're in lists that people are playing and are good, I guess.
That's where Dain, like Iron Hills, I haven't seen Dain this edition, and we're like 15 months in. So, okay, we've put him in silly nervous for now. We'll see where things end up. Next up, we have Prince Imrahil. Moving on to the men, there was some...
Oh, no.
Yes,
People been
some fiery debates in the community.
Bro got a glow up with his model.
And then the profile.
His profile, do they?
No.
To be honest, I know absolutely nothing about this man. So
really?
I know.
Count me out.
I've not seen him. I've not even.
So I actually played.
To look up.
I played against fiefdoms at the Melton 100 at 1,000 points. And I was actually quite surprised by the list. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, at 1,000 points, you could fit in everything that you wanted. So I think that was like a best case scenario because you need all the heroes with the buffs when they charge to give the +1. And he still had a captain in there for March. Like he had some mounted cav because he was able to pay those points for loads of the Dolan Roth. So that's one specific use case though. But I was quite impressed by the list overall. But in terms of Imrahil sort of on his own, like the 12-inch banner is now a 6-inch banner. He was only fight 6 last edition though, I think, wasn't he?
Correct, yeah.
He was fight 6. So now he's fight 7, which is obviously super nice. But the banner being reduced is quite a big deal. He still has the 3-inch +1 fight value for the Dolan Roth and the Men-at-Arms, I think. But that's like, I don't think there's as much value in that as there maybe was last edition at the moment, considering like the fight value meta sort of thing we have going on right now. Other than that, though, I think the stat line is pretty much unchanged, but it's the points, though. So he's 160 base with the horse and lance for 30 points. He's 190. So I think he was maybe like 25 points-ish cheaper last edition. So I think that is probably the biggest thing, just for the points. You've got a 6-inch banner now. It's just quite a big hit.
It's got a 12-inch standfast as well, but obviously less important compared to the banner.
Yeah. I'll have a look and see how many points he was.
Because obviously going up to fight 7 is really nice, but he wouldn't be in this tier list if he was, if he'd remained the same. So it's kind of like, again, it's a hard one to judge. I don't think he's not really delivering
the goods.
That his killing power comes from, being on his mount with his lance, right? And I feel like once that goes for 160 points, it's kind of hard to say.
190 points.
Sorry, of course.
He's almost 200 points.
Yeah.
Is crazy. And then obviously now you've got like sharpshooter,
monsters
are better at like taking them off. Yeah,
horses are much
safe.
Easier to kill this edition because of the prevalence of like Legolas and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's just really good. Now, last edition, he was 140 base. So he's gone up 20 points base, and then the armored horse and lance was only 20 points compared to 30 points this edition. So it's gone up 30 points on horse with lance compared to last edition. It was 160.
30
and now
points
it's
for
190.
one fight value, and
And
if you're working out,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact math, but 12-inch to 6-inch banner is
yeah.
way worse than just 50%.
Well, you've got,
coverage.
so I guess now you've got the buff for the +1 to wound for the Dol Amroth knights and the men at arms, but at lower points levels, or sort of any points level that wasn't the 1,000 points one that I mentioned, you're probably not having many of the knights at all because they're so expensive. I think they're like 12 points, 11 points, sorry. Yeah, which is just
Before
for
you've
the
got the
stat line
horses.
is so expensive. Obviously, you'd probably have a fair amount of men at arms, but yeah, like you've got the +1 capability now, but it's like, is it that good for that many more points? You know,
That +1 is only when a friendly hero charges as well, not all the time.
Yeah, that matches these same keywords. But yes, he would need to charge to actually have that happen. Yeah.
I think we
where are we putting him?
We go with we sort of build on the downplaying how good he is, or not even downplaying, just saying he's trash. Let's put him in dog.
Let's put him in dog. Yeah, I think all of that was kind of building nicely towards our first dog. You know?
The only benefit, which I remember people saying about, is the I have seen him be taken in Defenders of the Pelennor because you gain access to 5/5 when you take the pikes with like backed by ghosts and stuff, and like at certain points levels, that actually becomes viable. So I'd argue
that's the list I was looking at to look at his stats, was Defenders of the Pelennor, actually.
Yeah,
I'd argue he has more use than Dain is the only issue.
Interesting.
Yeah, although Sam, in Defenders of the Pelennor, though we're not talking about fight 6 heroes, I'd rather take Éomer, who's a lot cheaper. I think he's about how much? I think he's 100.
Yeah, but you can't get fight 5 though, right?
He's fight 6 compared to fight 7, though, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, but for the points,
Imrahil's fight 7.
value
For the
points.
points.
I mean, Éomer's
Yeah, when you mount him,
with his horse. Imrahil's 160 on foot in that list.
I guess it's
it's bringing fight 5 men at arms to a battle line list.
Yeah,
3 inches is really not like you might get
Six,
even if you're playing at 1,000 points, only getting 6 of your dudes being fight 5.
I'm just not sure going up to fight 5 either. Like at the moment in the current meta, is that important?
Well, 190 point, not sink, but
it can be, but like
I don't think it's the. I appreciate the point, Sam. It's a good. It's a good point to raise, but I still don't think it's that valuable.
We'll leave him in dog for now. We'll see if at the end things are looking a bit odd and we might want to move him around slightly. But
I think the new model could be Lemon. The profile,
for sure.
Definitely.
Hasn't quite had the glow up that people were expecting. Yes. So anyway, we shall move on to Isildur, who also moved up from fight 6 to fight 7 this edition, which is obviously really good. The ring is obviously a lot worse now, though. So the ring was kind of causing mayhem, I think, across sort of the GBHL. Lots of carnage lists that you could kind of run with the ring, but I think they tried to sort of tone that down a bit, which I think is probably a good thing. It was quite sort of confusing to understand at the best of times.
Yeah.
The thoughts on Isildur?
I'm a bit just on the fact that they killed the ring being good upset me a little bit because it was just another fun element to play with and use.
It was quite fun, I guess, when you understood it, which I don't think I did completely by the end of the edition.
Similar and just removed the ambiguity from the rule. But
well, it is still similar. It's just where now
it's just they've killed.
You can't pile other guys in.
Basically, Isildur's the only one that can use it with any effect.
Yes.
So
and he isn't going to be able to kill something with it on his own, most likely. So
no.
So, but it does still do sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it basically killed it off at any other hero. Excuse me. Let me quickly get up.
Well, you say that he won't be able to kill any hero by himself, Elliot. But if you have both Elendil and Isildur on the same list, and Elendil dies, Isildur picks up Narsil if he's within 3, and then suddenly becomes Strength 5 with +1 to wound with the ring.
Jesus Christ!
I think he can kill anything and everything.
I didn't even know that.
That's some tippable knowledge right there. I was just going over to the Numenor
on
list.
That now, that is actually so epic.
Are there any other buffs in that list that affect Isildur?
He doesn't get to do the free heroic combats though.
Oh, so he
No.
could be your general, and he would get General Hunter if he was your leader. You could run like him and 2 captains, max warbands or something, and he'd get General Hunter as well. It's a nice little bonus for someone that has the ring.
Oh, Jay, it's even more cool. It's not if he dies within 3 inches. Anytime Elendil dies, you put down a 25 mil marker, and if Isildur just like runs over there and ends his activation, he just picks it up, so it's there for like the rest of the game. Gives him.
You would also have as well, if you took him in the Last Alliance list, if he's being supported by a Rivendell model, which you would have him, he rerolls 1s to wound, which is nice for a Strength 5 model. Because we have to take the list into account. So
I like him. The reason I like him is because the fight value of heroes has gone up now, right? As we know. And strike is still prevalent in all the big heroes.
Yeah.
Nothing would dare go up against him because you just know he's automatically going to be a higher fight, right? You're not going to put your Aragorns into him or... I mean, he could take on a Balrog by himself. Sure, you're running the risk of not rolling a 6, but like you're just negating a 350-point model with 1 model with the ring.
Because he is 3 wounds and 2 fate as well. He's 3-2-2.
Survivable.
So the stats are pretty good as well for what, 130 points? Like that's Thorin's sort of value.
And strength 5. Obviously doesn't get the
+5 is nice.
Wound, but
yeah, no free combat, but I think he's probably like is he above Thorin? Like probably not, but he's got to be here.
I think he's
between Thorin.
I think he's above Durin, in my opinion.
Really?
I think
definitely.
So. 100%.
Yeah, for the
Definitely.
points.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, in
He's
the
not, he's not
context of the list.
viable.
You
Sorry?
are?
He's not exactly a viable hero. Like I think I've seen him once. Like
He's pretty good in Last Alliance.
The Last Alliance, I think, is great, yeah.
But like Khazad-dûm, I think you're seeing more Durin because
Alliance.
Khazad-dûm is just a better list. Yeah. Where like I think you could still have success with Isildur, where compared to someone like Dain, like just Iron Hills is just like so not relevant and
so
a
not
good
it
list.
right now.
Yeah, well, like Last Alliance.
I think if he had a shield, I'd be much more open.
He did have a shield last edition, and then
not
he
being
lost
out of shield is tough.
Yeah.
Like going into a Balrog and shielding,
you could shield with the ring.
Is then way more beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. But even then, with 3 attacks and 3 might, and you'd have a banner and a spear behind you, 5 dice.
Yeah, I guess him having the shield with
you can't
the
wait.
ring.
Sorry, you can't support a ring bearer.
Yeah, that's the new thing now.
Can you get a banner being a ring if you've got the ring on?
I doubt it.
Not sure.
Not sure about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, like he would be a lot more reliable if he kept the shield. Sure, like when you charge into a Balrog, like you're just gonna live forever. So I think losing that was probably like a good thing for balance because you give him fight 7 and stuff. So I think that's a good change, most likely.
So is this the ring still like 1 or 2 you run away? Like, or is it not for him?
I think it's the same.
Not sure.
It's this, yeah.
That's the same. Yeah.
Gotta quickly click on the ring. Oh my god.
I think it's just you can't bubble up with other models to get the ring effect. He has to be by himself. The 1 or 2, I think, is still
move.
Yeah.
What, a certain time you're not moving him. He doesn't provide stand fast when you break if you have the ring on.
If he has the ring on.
But Sam, the ring is situational though, no? You don't need to put
it on. It is, but
just have it there for that time when you're playing.
I guess to be fair, like Durin, I was just saying that he brings a lot of sort of tech and stuff. I think it's maybe just for the points. Like 130 is a lot more.
Do you take horse? Do you take 1 horse?
I don't think you take him on horse. Like 130 is just such good value, and if you're going to put the ring on anyway, like last edition for 10 points, it was much more of like a choice. But for 20 points,
yes, Last Alliance, like you're kind of bringing him for the Numenors.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like you could run a lower. You could run a lower points sort of version where he's your Numenor hero. You have Eristor and then a captain. And you're probably getting pretty decent models. You could do that sort of list last edition as well, but obviously he's got a little bit better now. So I think it's close. It's close.
Sold, but I don't
we'll see. Yeah, at the end if we
let us know in the comments below if you would
think
Isildur above.
I think he's fine. I think he's
Jesus Christ. Okay, well we shall move on to our next hero, who have I just made the first mistake of the podcast? Is Helm
the
Hammerhand
big
not
one.
5'7"? Because I've just
Yeah,
clicked on it and I'm not sure he's 5'7". I think I got this off of Tabletop Admiral, so I don't know where
Wraith of the Hornburg is 5'7".
Ah, that's the one I'm on about. I've just put the wrong
Yes.
picture. Okay, fine.
Santa
This
Helm.
is meant to be Santa Helm. Fine. So,
Santa Helm.
so the picture
What
is
That helm on horse is really good though.
Yeah,
I
but
think
this
he's
one
the-
is
He would be up maybe near
I've
the
messed
top
up.
of the tier list.
that's
but again,
confusing.
not
But he's
5'7",
5'6", so he is not eligible.
Yeah.
So yes, it's
He's
the
outta
Wraith
here.
of the Hornburg. Yes, one who is the 5'7" Santa Helm. Yes, strength 6, D5. This bloke. What do we think on him?
He's not good.
No,
He's
he
what?
is.
He's not good.
For his point,
No,
he might be getting
he's
relegated.
180.
Like Spurs, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
One AC,
Spurs.
can't lead troops. One fate.
Oh yeah, he can't lead troops.
I think he was the
D5.
hero. When I first read the profile, I was like, wow, this looks incredible. He's just going to absolutely wreck everything. But the
Yeah.
list he's in, I don't think the list is very good
No.
compared to other lists that you can take. Other
Rohan
helms in.
has just been screwed over so hard this edition by the spear situation. Really hard. Like lots of these lists just like they can't function properly because of the throwing spears. So
Okay.
I think this
the,
is
the,
one of them.
the one fate D5 means he just dies to shooting.
If you lose the combat,
anything.
yeah, for
Yeah.
shooting, totally, Jay.
Yeah. He does have like mighty blow and stuff. Like he never counts as unarmed. He's got burly, like
Got,
all this
like,
stuff.
he's
But
got
it's
light
like
armor, so
he
he's,
has
Be
free
correct.
combat.
Oh, I was just going to read that as well, Sam.
You what?
he's D6
He
for
gets-
shooting, but even that is just, I don't know. You're paying 180 for a one fate D6.
Wait, does he have a
leader.
free combat?
Infantry
Did I
do.
make that up? Does he have
No,
a free
he doesn't.
combat? Or is that
No,
on the
He
list?
does, doesn't he?
Oh, I thought maybe. Oh, I'm making that up. He does have the cool rule where like people have to move away, and that's not just once per game. That is, yeah, at the start of the end phase of a turn in which Helm Hammerhand kills an enemy hero or monster. Oh, so it's not every turn, but
He can get free hero combats. The Berserk Rage must
Yeah,
always
yeah.
charge him to do so if he charges into combat against Terror until the end phase of the turn, and may declare a hero combat in the fight phase without
Yeah,
spending
okay.
him.
thought so. Yeah,
But again, it's the fact that he can never be your leader, which means you have to take him with something else. He can't lead troops.
well, you wouldn't probably
Is-
want him as your leader given the.
Well, yeah,
the
yeah,
final
I
fate,
guess.
but
it's
yeah,
more the fact that
yeah, the
you can't
troops.
just take him and troops and stuff. Also, you can't you're having such a high point model. Always have to charge not under your control, as it were. It's
Yeah.
hard, isn't it?
There are
And
lots of nice rules in there, but
He's got
it's
loads of rules.
but there's lots of bad stuff.
He's not got. He gets the same rule as Gollum, which is hilarious. Obviously, never being considered unarmed. The rule's not quite as cool as a strong strangling figure.
So where's he going? Is he in Spurs?
He's gonna be Spurs. Yeah, he's Spurs.
He's got to be in terms
He's
of
technically strength 8, which is pretty beast. But,
yeah, yeah.
God, he's bad.
He's in Spurs. Okay, Hand Helm, not Helm
and he's-
Hammerhand from the Army of Edoras.
Being dominant 4 as a man. I mean, that's impressive.
But he's Dom. I guess he's not your leader, so you just get a Dom 4-1 anyway.
Oh, so
Yeah,
that,
you get the Dom-
that is a bonus.
4-3.
You're Dom 7. Ash, did you just go?
You're done 4-3. What can you do?
Actually, the Dom 4 is irrelevant because he'll be dead by the end of the game.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, true that.
the
You're not
fact
getting
that-
any value out of that.
He can be strength, Sam. He can be strength 8. He's got fight 7.
Yeah, but
He's only got
yeah.
3 attacks. If he whiffs against just 4 regular dudes, you just go, oh, I've rolled 3 5s. Lol, he just take
Yeah.
them away.
I can't
So-
wait for some people to tell us in the comments about how much they love this profile and how we've
Sorry.
shunned him by putting him in Spurs. But hey,
I think if he was,
um,
I actually think if he was even if he was just D6, just base, he would
be a
immediately
lot
go
better.
up. Immediately
yeah,
go
D5
up.
is
It's the fact
really
that
shit.
strength 3 random chumps. Mario Goblins can wound him on 5s. That's really
Yeah, it's the most common
that's
strength
really
value,
bad.
obviously, across the game. Yeah, so okay,
I
well,
just think
it's
the points are too
interesting.
high. I just think the points are too high. 180 is
Yeah,
just
180 is
obscene.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
for like 160, like someone that can't lead troops is just so bad. Like even for 160,
Such a
it's like
sink. Such
Yeah.
a sink.
So it's very interesting. After 6 heroes that we've ranked, we've got a nice little like right angle going on here as well. We don't have any heroes in Lemon. I think that's all about to change with our next pick, Aragorn, King Elessar.
Yeah. Put him up
Surely
there next.
he's going straight up in Lemon. Is
Yeah.
there need to?
No question.
explain why.
I guess the only argument is he the best hero in the game?
Right, 7 or generally?
A best hero in the game.
Oh,
he might be. I don't know. The Balrog, maybe Sauron in a vacuum. I don't know.
I think he's my least favorite model to play against. Like in general, he's the one model that I do not want to play against at all times because I think he's more oppressive than a lot of models that people would consider oppressive, like the Balrog and stuff. Like, I'd rather play against the Balrog than Aragorn because he's impactful at all stages of the game, no matter what.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, you can't really do a whole lot against them, whether it's magic, whether it's shooting as a horse lord. Like it's ridiculous.
He is super, super good, as we've talked about at length.
Can he only be taken in Men of the West? Any other lists that he can be taken in?
Depends on Eleanor, is it?
No, I don't think.
Right.
No. I think it's only Men of the West. Yeah. Thank God, because otherwise there'd be another super good list that would be doing well.
Do you think that's the reason, Sam? You think it's oppressive because he's in Men of the West? Men of the West, which also is such a good list, and then put him in it.
Yeah, makes the rules.
Doubly worse.
It's just like what realistically can you consistent? Like, what is a viable way of dealing with them game to game? Like,
there isn't.
There is no viable way
unless you have the Balrog and you survive the first turn of for Frodo strike off. That's maybe it, because with enough magic you can get through.
But there's not like multiple caster lists like around now. Like
the only one I'm thinking of
really
is the triple Barrow White Host the Witch King.
Honestly,
maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Like you resolve and you get what, 3 dice per time to resist without spending. Where was it?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's just if you throw even all your resources into him and trap him and get 2 heroes into him and surround him, he's just going to defense. And life, right? So.
Okay, I'll free defense. Yeah. Okay, I'll free do this. Okay, I'll do that for free. Okay,
I'll free that.
I'm marched everywhere as well, so I've got a better.
I'm fight 8 this turn as well. Nice.
But also, do you not think it's fair? I mean, he is Aragorn Elessar, right? Like,
I am kind of glad that he is good, because last edition it was quite shit that he was
last edition
shit.
He was terrible.
So
yeah.
It seems kind of fair enough.
I think
what do we think? What is the way to deal with him?
Well, I think we all just agreed that there wasn't really much of a way.
No, but
Magic,
what
maybe.
would you do to give yourself the best chance of dealing with him?
I think it's the same as what we always say for big heroes, right? Play the scenario, deal with everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of let him do his thing within reason.
Yeah.
The issue is that he does play the scenario as well. Like, he does that better than
dominant too,
because he buffs his whole army. Yeah, old march everywhere. You know,
he moves everyone real quick. Then he buffs them all. Then he allows them to move all the time for free.
Oh, it's a 6-inch banner as well. Yeah, leave that out.
Better than anyone. It's like, I think your best. It sounds like stupid, but your best chance of actually dealing with him is just by throwing your 5/7 hero into him, hopefully winning a strike off, or he defensive and you just roll like 6/6s and you win. It's like, what kind of gameplay is that? Do you know what I mean? I guess like the Balrog is obviously not exactly a fun model to play against as well, but it's not like he has mind to back stuff, and you are likely to roll a 6 when you play against him. But I don't know. It's
what would you change, Sam? Then, if you had to change something about this model to make it less oppressive for everyone to play against.
Last note on King Elessar, because we need to move on. We've got a lot of heroes. Sam?
I think I would rather his free might be like a 4+, unlike Earl.
Yeah, like how they changed the Master of Battle for Azog and Bolg in that list. It's now like a 4-up or a 5-up.
I think a 4-up. Then if you think, oh yeah, I'm going to march and try to get to this place real quick, and then you don't get these 4-ups, and then you're then lacking potential resources later on. Like people would be a lot more sparing,
hesitant to go for it.
So,
Ash, final thought.
Is it every turn? Every turn he rolls a 4-up. So it's like before priority is rolled, you roll a 4-up. Do you get a might point? That's it. You just get that every single turn. Or
you give him when you spend, because then it makes you more likely to not want to spend potentially.
Yes.
I feel like if you do it where every time you spend, you see if you get it for free, that makes him a bit. Whereas if you do it
he's
where
still offering so much.
No, I'll do if the first time you spend a point of might each per turn,
Yeah,
on
I
a full
agree with
passive
Sam.
spree.
That's if
That's
you're not
the
changing
exponential
anything
getting
else.
better though.
In
Whereas if you
in
do
the
it every
list.
turn, it's
the
like
first time you spend it per
Yeah.
the first
Like Elver Young. First
point,
might
be
better.
no, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, like once you're out of might though, that's it. You're out of might.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. So it's not just free.
Yeah,
for the
well,
whole game.
I was saying you just get it every turn, regardless. Makes
Oh no.
Mighty Hero
No.
slightly less good. Like 50.
No.
It makes
I
it
guess it does.
10% as good.
Right, we will have to leave it there for King
Anyway.
Elessar. We could spend all day talking about
That's
Elessar.
Whose
Let us know what you think.
suggestions?
Does he need changing in the next FAQ?
King Elessar below that.
We can now talk about more Aragorn though, because we have Strider.
Whoa.
Obviously,
God,
slightly different
we're gonna get rinsed because he's also
profile.
D5 and we're not gonna put him in Spurs. And that was our whole point.
he has 3 fate though, so
That's true.
you can take
leave stuff
Andrew.
as well.
What lists can you take him in? The Fellowship, Breaking the Fellowship, Defenders of the Pelennor.
Defenders.
Yeah,
It'll probably be like a
Defenders of
Return
Helm's
of
Deep.
No.
Helm's Deep,
I've played him a
Return
lot
of the
in
King.
Return of the
Yeah, there's quite a lot to be fair. Yeah. Defenders of the Pelennor, there's surely some sort of... It's quite unfortunate that the Fellowship in that list can only lead the Army of the Dead. It does make sense, but it's like it does restrict their usage in that list quite a lot. Maybe that's the idea behind it, because otherwise it'd be too easy to include him, and there'd be some really, really good lists, which there probably would be, to be fair. But yeah, Defenders of Helm's Deep, he's good. Bert's used him quite a lot this edition. Obviously, the buff to Fight 7 is really good. He's pretty good.
He's definitely
I would
good.
go straight in and say silly nervous for him. Don't know what you guys think. I don't think he's low as nervous because, barring the defense buff that LSR gets,
can
he's
you
practically
really
much the
put-
same.
The free might every turn is so good.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and he's not that expensive either. He's not that expensive.
How many points is he? Is he 170?
He's 160 and you pay
He's...
Andros for 200, is it? If you pay 40.
you pay to go up to 200. Hmm.
But like
you're not
Return of the King
doing-
is free, no. But
Yeah. And in Defenders, you're
you
just
buy
not
Andor?
paying for that. You can no, you just don't pay. So 160, to be fair, is 20 points cheaper than Helm. That is crazy
Crazy, isn't it?
for
It's
what he
mental.
gives. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually maybe
I'd
not
put him
that
above-
against silly nervous, to be fair.
I'll put him
What do you
against. I'll put him above Thorin myself.
above Thorin?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh,
Not a bad
free
shout.
The free might.
Shout.
Really?
Free might is just dirty.
I was thinking
It's the
sort
point
of
that
down.
Sam made at the very start. Not at the very start. At the start of the Aragorn conversation. This dude brings value the whole game.
The whole
because of
game,
that
yeah,
free
you're not
might,
wrong.
You know?
He does. What do you think then, Sam Nash? You think top is silly nervous?
I think I'd put him below Thorin personally.
Just in the context of the
Army
list.
list wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So underneath Thorin here
Yeah, in that space.
in
agreed, if you put him head to head against something pretty likely he's gonna win, you know.
I'm not against
especially
that.
over multiple turns,
Yeah,
but
I think he's fine there. Okay.
God, doesn't Isildur just look wrong there? So just
Do you think
He again,
next to Aragorn maybe, but
Strider's just a hero that can, although he's got 3 fate again, he can just die to dudes, which
yeah, he totally could. To be fair, if you fluff hard with Aragorn, it's not going to be fun.
yeah.
With that one.
he's so way less scary than Elessar, like, beyond belief.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
it's
you're not realistically taking him with
he's not on horse.
Thranduil, right? Because
Yeah.
the 40 points feels a lot.
He's not 6-inch banner.
The
as well.
value for points, what he gives you, I just think can't.
Yeah,
like, every list
160
you've got
is
to use.
pretty cheap for
160
Mighty Hero.
for
Is
Fight 7
good.
Unlimited Might is
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it.
that's super
It's
good.
definitely
Yeah. So, okay, we shall move on to another Fellowship hero, Boromir from the Fellowship. Thoughts on him? I think it's such a shame that he was like taken out of lots of these lists. Like you could ally him into Rivendell and like all this sort of stuff last edition. As
Rest
now
in peace,
you'll-
Alliance
you'll-
Matrix.
You'll just never
Wait
see
for the
him.
supplement where it comes back.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
so,
imagine
like-
the Matrix for all the lists? It'd be great.
Honestly,
No.
give me hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
It'd be so mental.
What has actually changed with this Boromir? I'm just trying to bring it up now.
So where can you take him, barring the Fellowship? Any other lists?
Breaking of the Fellowship.
I'm sorry.
What's Road to Rivendell? Is that?
No, he's not in it. That's
No.
the Hobbits and Aragorn and Arwen.
Arwen, yeah.
He,
God knows that.
unfortunately, as much as I love Bozza, this version of him isn't very good. Although,
But is it
for
just the
points-
lists he's in?
Even himself,
Like, he
not
still
having
does
any
the same
say-
sort of stuff as he did last edition.
I know,
It's
yeah,
still sort of the same profile.
Granted, but you can't ally him into places where he's going to be really useful.
And I guess that was the value. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's so cheap for his points. It's only, 95 points, right? Obviously, you give him the shield, so he's 100 points. You can only take him in 2 lists, Breaking the Fellowship, where he can't be mounted, and then Normal Fellowship, where you're probably not going to mount him.
That's the trouble, innit? For 20 points, you want to put him on a horse because it makes him so much better. But then again, adding a fifth of his points, it feels so bad.
Yeah.
But you just go in. If you do take him on horse ash, you literally just go in and you burn the 6 smite, kill as much as you can, and die.
Yeah, exactly. You never lose a fight. This is the trouble again. He's actually the worst case of what we've been talking about with Helm and Strider because he has no fate. And I guess he's D6, so that helps. But
I'm not going to lie, though. He's probably not going to kill that much. Like, he's got heroic strength, which is obviously better this edition, but he's only 3 attacks on foot with no 2-handed weapon.
I know.
And no horse now.
I think he's just a troop killer, unfortunately.
He's just not going to do much.
No,
You
agree.
come
But you've got
against-
6 might to literally.
The might is good. Like, you could heroic strength and stuff and, go into a big hero. You've got 6 dice, but, there's no +1.
I mean,
no
all you
2-handed
do,
weapon sucks.
Elliot, I think you just put him into one of your opponent's big heroes, fight 7 heroes, and just defense.
Yeah, you sit there and
He's
defense.
got a
Which,
chance, right?
I guess
Yeah,
plays a
and
my
might
role.
defense
up.
is good.
Yeah, you just tie
But
him up.
in the vacuum of fight 7 heroes,
He's not very good.
pretty dog.
Dog. Yeah, arguably, dog, not quite Spursy.
Yeah, worse than
Yeah.
Imrahil.
Half in it. It's close.
Imrahil
It's
does a
all-
lot still.
I
where
mean,
Boromir.
value for points though.
I guess
60 for Imrahil, 100 for Boromir with the shield.
True. But in
It
the
can
lists
just-
that you would take Boromir in, he would probably play quite a big
Yeah.
role, though, wouldn't he? So
I used to
I
He
guess
shoot.
plays a role. He definitely plays a
he
role.
does do a lot for the lists that he's in. It's just those lists aren't very
If not
good.
anything,
So
he's just an iconic character, right? So
He's-
he gets the bump out of Spurs
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
reason. He
He
gets
gets
a
the
little
vibe. He gets
nod.
extra vibe points.
Mm. Are
Uh,
you happy with Dog, Sam?
Yeah, I think D5, no fate.
Yeah,
Like-
to me. Oh,
he
yeah,
sits
that's a
with
good
the
point.
shield.
Yeah,
Shooting and loves. It's just, I don't know. I'm not.
yeah,
he's
no
not
fate.
it. He's not
No.
it.
Okay, Dog.
We
well,
could even put him down in Spurs. To be fair,
I
we'll have a look at the
he's fine
end,
there.
see
We
if
can- you can
see if
reject
there's
it.
yeah.
If you-
We
Put
shall
Dog
move
for
on
now.
to the shinier
No!
counterpart. It's
our
Ash's
second
favourite,
lemon hero,
the
baby.
captain of the White Tower. Although you don't see this Boromir very much at the moment. So Ash, your case for lemon then?
Oh, you were,
Oh, he wasn't ready for that.
You were all trying to, hype up Imrahil for giving fight 5. This guy counts as a banner, is 6 inches, and effectively gives fight
Not
4.5
quite
to
fight
all of-
5 though.
I said 4.5
Yeah.
to all of his chaps. He's got 6 might, D7. He's got 3 fate. He's super durable. He's got the same epic
The same kit.
Horn of Gondor rule, which is really nice. Just win fights for free. And the big thing is now he always gets +1 to wound when he charges. So again, him not
That's
killing
mega lit.
is also now no longer a factor because
Yeah.
as long as he's charged, which is quite likely because he's got so much might to always call moves. He is actually doing stuff now.
To be fair,
but Ash,
Hero banners are the thing.
yeah.
sorry, Elliot, but he can't
No.
take the banner in Minas Tirith list though.
No,
So
he can take it in reclamation.
yeah. So how does that change your viewpoint? That you can only take the big banner in one list and not the 2 that he's in.
That's so
unfortunate.
shit, isn't it? That's so
Definitely
shit.
unfortunate.
Why is that? So dead.
Within reclamation, he's still really good. In the context of reclamation, he's class.
In Reclamation, he is Chad. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a shame. It's definitely a shame that he can't take it in Minister for sure.
I think in the vacuum of Fight 7 Heroes, he is probably Lemon looking at it, to be fair.
Agreed. Obviously not as good as best hero in the game, but
How many points
I
is
know
he? Is he
The only
2?
point,
With
the only point
everything,
yeah, and
225.
everyone, he's 225 fully kitted out. That's a lot.
it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. He does do a hell of a lot, though.
But how much are you paying for the banner? Right, a 6-inch banner on a hero that basically is really hard to kill.
I guess
That
the
gives you the fight
horse.
value. You can't. You'd pay 50 points for that if it was
Mm,
an option, right? If you could take it in a list, you'd pay 50 points for it.
yeah.
Mm.
Maybe
The horse is
even
also
more.
worse, though, this edition as well. Like we were saying, of being knocked off of it.
Would you give him the
That
horse
is worse.
patch in the reclamation list just to get the bigger base to have the banner effect more?
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
have
I
to,
think
yeah.
I'd give him the horse.
Unless you're playing
And
like
then-
super low points, but
Yeah, I'd give him the horse, and that makes his killing power really, really, really good. As we mentioned, horses are much easier to kill and stuff, but I think the investment in him to do that is worth it.
Yeah.
so Lemon, happy? I think-
Lemon.
Okay.
Yeah, I reckon
What do
so.
you think, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think again, you just save a lot of points due to the banner. Like you don't have to pay for one. You get a bigger banner.
Yeah.
It actually has a really good effect. Like again, he's in a list that you can take a bigger hero, but also get a good amount of troops as well. Not like Strider. Like if you take Strider and you take Ghosts and stuff, you're limited to model count wise. But Boromir, you're not.
Yeah.
As well as he can go to 9 might and stuff with his special rules with Faramir and stuff and things like
Yeah.
that. So
And him mounted
Yeah.
like with that is kind of insane. So
yeah, I
um
like him.
You know what that means, guys, right? For Gondor.
Oh God!
Yes.
Oh my God! Where's the speech? Where's David Clubley's speech?
Oh,
No,
Oh,
Elliot
it
would
back
cut
on.
that out of the pod. There'll be no time for the speech.
of course not.
And the
Okay.
full Gondor rule is really good as well. Giving +1 to wound for your battle line
Mm,
and himself is great.
yeah, really good. What he said, Lemon. So we shall move on to the 2 elf heroes that we have. The first of which being Elrond. What do we think about him?
Ooh.
He was
Jay.
5'7".
I think we
Wait,
go
what-
into this.
He was 5'7"
Yeah.
last edition, wasn't he? Yeah.
No,
So I'd be-
No, he wasn't.
Nice.
Am I tweaking?
it's 6. It was
Okay.
it was an outrage that he wasn't
Yeah.
fight. He
It
should
was
be
just
fighting.
Northy that was 7 last edition.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
He's
no,
also
he's
right.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've used Elrond a lot in the new edition for different reasons. So the good things are, I think he's incredibly survivable. As we all know, nothing has changed really in his profile from that perspective. He just doesn't die very often. Obviously, you can give him the horse. The foresight now, I think, is absolutely massive. And I'm sure you guys probably will agree, given how the priority rules have changed. Wrath of Brunan's great. The list, you can take him in again. There's a lot of versatility, so many different areas you can play him. And you can utilize him in different ways, whether that's chuck him into combat, when you put him on horse, and he often does kill. He can go 2-handed. He's +1 against spirits, for which they're obviously very prevalent now. And he just doesn't often die, which is good. But the problem I find is once he loses his horse, he can't kill things, is what I found. And I'm sure you guys, from your experience of playing with him and against him, might also agree with. Yes, granted, you can go 2-handed, like we said, but I find with just the strength 4, even though he's Lord of the West, I find he just struggles to kill basic troops at the time, and he's just not reliable from that perspective.
Mm.
Any
Do
thoughts
you
from guys?
take him on the horse? I guess you do take him on the horse. Like trying to get the Wrath of Bruin in where you want it with the horse is super, super good. And if you don't play against something that can take out the horse quite easily, then obviously having someone as strong as Elrond on a horse is obviously really good. But like, it would make him a lot more affordable to not take it, and you still get a
It's-
lot of the good stuff in the profile.
Mm.
So it's just more of a choice now.
Is-
It's 20 points compared to 10.
Elrond's real power is in those foresight points, I think.
Yep.
Which is chance as to how good they are every game, which is a trouble. Right? If he got 6 foresight points every game, oh my God. he'd
Oh, but
be
Ash,
so
you
good.
can just solve that problem by just buying some Rivendell dice, and then
Oh, that's
you have
true,
6
that's
every game.
true.
You need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I forgot about that point. I forgot.
There you go.
I think. Have you paired him with Lindir, Jay? And how is that?
I
if
really
you
want
have,
to
has
do
that
this, and I've been
worked
wanting
out?
to do this since I started playing SBG. I haven't
Yeah.
done it yet. So
Yeah.
go on, Joe.
So this is a list that I've used, Ben's used as well. We've been theorizing and like trying to play
Yes.
test and create lists
Yeah,
with Elrond and Lindir in different options. And actually at higher, like sort of 700-800 points when you have him with Lindir and Arwen or a captain.
that's
because
you get
can build
those
it
3 right.
ways.
I
You
would just
have
love
so-
to be able to take all 4, because you need a captain for March. You want to take Lindir with both Elrond and Arwen. Like, I think that's the dream. but it's just
I
not
think
quite.
the key in that list is you just have him on foot, and he's just there as your hero at the back to go in and just wrath unlimited
Wrath, yeah.
times per game, and he never gets into combat. He's just your support hero, and in that list, he does work perfectly. But this is the thing with him: it's the utility. How do you use him? Do you want him to be your aggressive hero going into combat, or do you want him just behind the line, effectively your buffer to basically help your troops? Then your troops just go in and just kill everything. And obviously, the front rank can all go two-handed. You've got your banner.
Yeah, the changes to two-handed for that list with Wrath is so good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So I do like him. My only thing is, I just think he's inconsistent. Is the key word I'd use because of the foresight. Because Wrath doesn't always come off either. Even if you've got Lindir, even if you go you guys on a 4-up, and the lack of killing power against basic
At
troops.
times,
But often you're not going to go two-handed.
Although, the two-handed change for him is pretty good. If you're going in there, you're charging with 4 dice. You've got a banner and Lord of the West. Like that is pretty good to two-hand.
Yeah,
I think
don't disagree.
for him that is a good change.
He's one of the heroes that can utilize two-handing the most, but I still agree it is a risk.
It is,
and
But
even
6,
then, you might not kill stuff because it's still going to be 5s on D6 troops, which is D7 troops. Maybe 4s on D6 troops.
That's a specific use case though. There with
hard,
dwarves, like most things aren't D7 that you're going into trying to blend. Obviously, that does exist.
But I'm thinking about heroes, right? If you're thinking about how you're going to take out heroes in that list, you're going to need Elrond to be the one to do that.
Yeah. I think it's fair points. I think he's 170, I think, isn't he? 190 with
190
the horse.
190 with the horse,
I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's probably a fair cost for him, given the potential of what he can do, I think is the key word. But I don't think it's quite as up there as some of the other heroes we've talked about so far.
Where do you think it puts him, Jay?
Personally, I'd probably go top of Nervous at the moment.
Oh, top of Nervous.
Oh, that's harsh. You put in a good case for him as well.
You did. It was great.
You put in a good case for him.
He did say inconsistent, though.
It's the inconsistency. Put it this way, that time you really want to rely on him to do that one thing,
he might not
doesn't do it. And then it costs you a game. I think, I wouldn't disagree with bottom of Silly Nervous either, depending on what your guys' thoughts are.
It's the 4+, isn't it, on the Wrath of Bruin that makes it just that little bit. If it was a 3+, all of a sudden you're starting to think, okay, that it becomes a lot more obviously consistent, right?
I think he's better than Durin.
See,
I think better than Dain and Nervous is.
See, I think it's better than Dain. And I actually think I agree with Elliot. I think he is better than Durin, but I don't know if he's quite Silly Nervous either. I'm not sure. It's now throwing me a bit.
The issue is that basically, if you have a big hero like this, they either need to bring a lot of value in their profile, which I personally don't think Elrond does.
You don't think he brings value?
Not enough to warrant his cost.
190 is a lot. Yeah.
To the list. And if they do cost that and they don't have this exceptional value in their profile and build, they need to have cheap enough troops to counteract for that. And you don't get that either way, I think, with Elrond personally. If you compare some of the upper heroes, Thorin is low enough points that you can pay a bit of a premium and still have an effective hero that brings a lot for his points and get decent troops. And then the top two have low cost troops in comparison to elves with massive benefits
and
to their army
even better. Yeah.
Which I don't think Elrond fits either.
No, it's fair. I see that.
So
the argument isn't to put him with those. It's I guess with Durin and in this, I think above Durin personally. But are you guys thinking?
I think it's above Dain. I think it's above Durin too. I think it's above Dain, but I don't know if he's Silly Nervous, so I'm a bit conflicted. So I'll go with what you guys think.
What do you think, Sam? Do you think Nervous?
I would either go there or bottom of or below Durin. But either or is basically the same thing, right?
Well, seeing as I think here is okay then. Seeing as it seems like Ash and Jay maybe want this, and
can we tweet this?
I think that's fine. We'll go back and review. Yeah. Don't you worry, Jay.
You wait, Jay. We're going to tweak for the next
just when you think it's done. When you think it's done, there's another 40 minutes being added. Okay, well, we shall move on to the other elf hero, which is Thranduil, who also got the buff. Wait, did he get the buff? I'm so confused at this point to Fight 7. This edition, could he get to Fight 7 somehow? I think.
No,
I think it was-
his swords made him fight 7
He was fight
regardless.
7
Did.
last time.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
fight 6, but now he's
With
just
the-
fight 7 in his
regular ones.
profile, but they changed the
Yeah.
swords. Yeah. So what do we think on Jay? I
Ooh.
guess you have used
Yeah,
Thranduil
yeah,
quite a
yeah.
lot as well.
Good
I'll
place to start.
hand over to you here.
Yeah, sorry, it's me again. To everyone listening, so I've used him quite a fair bit since the new editions come out. I've used the list Horse of Thranduil quite a fair bit too. So the key for him is how you use him, and as someone who's used him in 3 games against usurpers and won all 3 or won the tournament, the key is you don't chuck him into combat. He has effectively been in the 9, 12, 15 games I've used him in the last 3 to 6 months, probably had half a dozen combats. That's it.
Wow.
He just doesn't see combat at all, because, to put it this way, as Ash keeps saying, and as the boys keep saying, he's only D6. And you put him into any decent big hero, or even just basic strength 4 troops, he fluffs and he just dies. And that's me being honest, and that's experience. That's not just me like hypothetically theorizing. He, in the list itself, he counts as a banner within 3 inches for friendly infantry. Unfortunately, not for himself. You can't even take a banner in the list, which effectively means you're always ever just the 3 attacks that he has. And that, unfortunately, limits quite a lot of what he can do in combat, in my opinion. The other key thing that I do with him in lists are, depending on how you run the Horse of Thranduil, Legolas does his own thing often with the Might. Tauriel's often doing heroic combats or striking against big heroes. So he's often my heroic move, Might Caddy Thranduil, because he's normally right in the middle of where you want everything to be, buffing everything and helping the troops and helping everyone kill and letting your troops do the work, essentially. So by
He's
the
in
time
the middle of the
yeah,
line.
yeah, always.
So,
His position is critical and crucial if you want the list to do well. But that often means if your opponent gets to him, he's probably spent a might or 2, and then he's just not reliable in combat at all.
right.
And as a leader, I think he's a lot weaker than a lot of the other models we see here, if you're going to go par for par. But for what he brings to the list, though, it's absolutely imperative. I mean, the list doesn't run without him, because it is Halls of Thranduil. It's not Halls of Legolas or Halls of Tauriel. But like his buffs to the troops and to everything else in his actual list, I think is insane. The +1 to wound, especially now with two-handing, so you can go +2 to wound if you're within 3 of him, is huge. I've taken down a Balrog with him in 1 turn. I've taken down trolls with him. You name it, I've killed everything with this list.
You name it, ladies and gents.
You name it. Brandy's got in.
You name it, I've killed it. Top shagger.
Maybe not Sauron, but he's a very viable hero who does a lot for the list whilst not doing much for himself, if that makes sense.
Selfless Thranduil. Not
Selfless.
not how he is in the films, though. No.
Not like he's in the films, yeah. Now, there are a couple of special rules that we haven't mentioned. Obviously, he's got Expert Rider, although I've never taken him on the Elk. I think the Elk is just way over
Too many points, isn't it?
Too many points, 30 points. You always give him the heavy armor for the 10 points to make him D6. He is D4 base. He does actually get a reroll to wounds of 1 if he's outnumbered in combat, and if he does kill everything in combat, he can reroll all fail to wounds. And if he is outnumbered in combat and he kills everything, he gets a free hero at combat the following turn. I'll be honest, that's never happened at all in my year of playing him.
Sam went on like a quest to convince me that is how Thranduil works, and I kept on going like, no, but surely sometimes, and now Jay is also backing that up.
Never, not once.
I used them at I used them at 90 or earlier last year, like at the start of edition, when I was like, I'm definitely gonna get this off, and he's gonna be a killing machine. He's a beast. Admittedly, I did well with the list. However, he is so poor in combat and so lackluster. I completely agree with Jay with everything he said. Basically, it's the biggest red herring in the game. When you look at his profile and think, wow, he can do so much, and then you he can 2-hand as well. Oh my god, this is gonna be well good. And you just like roll a 5, got no banner. Okay, that's a 4. You're going to spend 2 might? No. Oh, he's D6. No, it can go so bad so quick.
So
basically.
quick, yeah.
Put it this way, for what he brings, even if he tends like how Celeborn is with the 1 attack buffer, I wouldn't even care. Even at 130 points, if he was 1 attack with all the buffs he has, I'd be happy. Because for me, how I use him,
he does that much, yeah.
He does that much, exactly.
This is an example of a hero that doesn't. They cost low enough in a list where they bring enough to the list that it doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah,
like Thorin. Like they I think these two are comparable. Where
he's 140. Yeah.
140 with the buffs you bring. It doesn't need to be the most. Have a hero that is got unbelievable rules and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
but
he lost
themselves.
he lost the circlet this edition, which
Yeah, the circle was really, really
unfortunate,
good.
which was good. Obviously, you've got the
Yeah.
terror from a sentinel potentially, like if you really wanted it in a particular matchup.
He can
and
give
the
himself
knockdown.
terror as well, Elliot. Sorry to interrupt there, because
Yeah, no.
he's got the Dragon Fire rule where he can spend a will point to
Yeah.
make things
Yes.
take intelligence checks, and it makes him terrifying. But
And
very
that is
often
nice.
you don't get to use that because you've got big heroes usually. I don't take a captain personally. I know that's controversial for its own reasons, but you don't often get to move because you're quite wary about spending might where you don't want to spend might unnecessarily. So
Yeah,
then it
that's
often
actually-
means that
Go on,
your
go on.
your opponent's moving rather than you controlling where you move. But that's fine because Thranduil never moves because he's just exactly where he needs to be. So even if you don't move, it doesn't matter. Which is why
That's
you don't want
fine.
him getting into combat, hero combating, and then being away from everything, and then the turn after.
Yeah, you need him where he
Or-
is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. On the might point there, like, I just think like in the list overall, like the might is so valuable on all of the heroes you have it on, unless you're taking a captain, like having to spend it in that situation where you charge in and you roll a 5 and you 2-hand and it's down to a 4. It's the might is so valuable that you're not wanting to do that because you don't have lots of might in other places. So it's too valuable to be doing those things with.
If he had the old Blade Lord rule where he got +1 attack for being outnumbered for how many, like Tariel still does,
it'd be a lot better.
I think he'd be insane then.
Yeah,
First points.
Yeah, agreed.
So where do we think it puts him, Sam? You were saying in the Thorin.
He's better
Region?
than Thorin for what he does.
I
You
think
two
he's better.
Explained it
Is he
extremely
lemon?
eloquently. He's a lemon. He's a lemon hero.
Is he
Quite
lemon?
simple.
No, I
But
don't think
his
it's lemon.
points-
He could
Lower
be
than Boromir.
bottom of lemon, maybe.
I
He
think
is.
so.
He is
Personally,
in
I don't
Thorin.
think
Yeah.
it's lemon. No, for what he does to the list, yes, but as individually, if we're comparing everything, no.
I
And,
would.
so put it this way, I'll ask you because I've used him quite a lot. Who brings more to their list, Thorin or him, and also does enough individually as well as a model?
Because you can do more
I'd
with
argue Thorin.
Thorin, but Thorin does a lot.
Yeah.
Because Thorin
doesn't
can do everything
buff as
himself, but also
much.
buffs the list, right?
Yeah, but not as not on
Not as much. Yeah,
Thranduil
not as much.
levels.
I think the
Um,
+1 to wound and the fight value is so good.
Sam, I think you're probably the deciding vote here.
Yeah.
He's either there or below Thorin.
I would go below Thorin.
Or below
personally.
Thorin. Okay, so me and Ash think lemon,
Oh,
and
no.
you two think below Thorin. So there is the middle ground.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
He's-
Top
yeah,
of
he is
silly
good.
nervous
is
above
good.
Thorin. Okay.
Let us know in the comments below. Whatever.
Yes,
that's
Jay,
there.
we-
not bad from you.
Hey, let's get it, baby.
No one else joins in with me on that. No one else joins in.
We'll move
Wait
on to our
until,
final.
What we
Good
haven't done yet,
hero.
viewers, is we haven't
Go on.
had Elliot decide a position on the tier list with a dice roll 50-50. That's
We have
shout
done
out-
that before. We have
That's what I mean.
definitely done that
Shout out
before.
to the people playing Gollum's Gamer podcast bingo right now. That is one of the bingo card tick-offs.
Oh yes, there
Roll a
are some
dice.
people who actually play a bingo. Yes, of
Sign
course.
up to
Shout out to the
to
two people
Patreon
doing that.
for a bingo cards.
Your own bingo card. We'll move on to the final good hero, which is an Ent. It's Beachbone, who was not Fight 7 last edition, I don't believe, but was now part up to Fight 7. Recently won a GBH 100. Oh, no, sorry, came second at GBH 100.
50 points down. What?
Yeah. So thoughts, obviously, kind of hard to compare because it's not quite the same in an all monster list. But where would we slot in someone like Beachbone? Do we think?
I think he's the good one out of the. Well, no, this is Birch Seed.
No, Birch Seed. Yeah, it's Birch Seed, not
This
Beach
is Birch Seed, not Beach Bone.
Oh, is it
Beachbone's
Birch
fighting.
Seed? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because Birch Seed is the one that if you call if they take if they win priority and take it themselves, you get a free move.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Which
he's
is
only
super
one
good.
might. He is only
Yeah.
one might as well, Birch Seed.
I don't
He's
think
one
he's any
might.
strike is he as
Ugh.
well.
That's really bad.
No, he only has strength. Just
Yeah,
strength.
like he's like your utility ant, which
Mm.
sounds
Survival.
odd, but
three
Oh,
fate,
sorry.
3 wounds,
Beachbone's
3/8.
fight 8. Yeah, so Birch Seed is sort of the shit one, but he still fights 7. Okay. Well, not the shit
Fight
one.
7
but
get
like-
the free move. He's still an ant, he still has like your bludgeon rules, your monster rules.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
ants are pretty darn good this edition as well. So I mean,
So I guess this one's quite easy.
Yeah.
Birch Seed is not going in silly nervous, surely.
No.
No.
Is it going in nervous?
Yes.
Above Dain. I would go.
God, what a day we live in where we're going to put Birch Seed above Dain Ironfoot. The new addition is...
I don't think Sam's happy
change
with
things
that.
up.
I mean,
Go on,
his
Sam.
150 points is a monster. So already he's doing more than Dain does in terms of
But less
output.
points.
Is he intelligent? Oh, he's fairly intelligent. 5 up.
Ents
That's
are
a
easy.
sniper ent. That's the thing.
It's like
It's gonna be tough to kill. with
360
three
no
wounds,
scope.
three fail,
What?
right?
He's only 3 wounds, 3 fate, D8. Yeah, I guess.
I just
The
think he's
rule
better than
about-
Isildur. I just do, which means it's cooked.
The rule about priority always being able to call a move is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. But
He can't be
I know,
above
it's
like
hard.
Elrond. No way.
No,
No
he's not
way.
above
No
Elrond.
way.
No,
No way.
no.
He is the targetable in there. That's the thing. But like,
he's the one you can kill. Yeah.
He's on like you
Mm.
combat off with a free combat strike, whatever kind of thing.
He's the one that is Dain combats off of.
It's quite hard to spend sort of like too much because someone like Dain, for example, you're going to be much more scared of him when you're coming up against an Iron Heels list because he's the linchpin of the list, right? Where Birch Seed, like when you play something like Ents, it's just
He's the target. He's the thing you're like,
it's so
right,
different.
we
So
can focus on him to actually kill him.
yeah, so it's quite hard to compare something like this model to the other heroes. So should we go above or below Dain and then move on? We can
I
revisit
think
at the
you're the
end.
final call, Elliot, here.
I'm gonna go below, and we'll see where things shake out. Although Sam wants him up in Silly Nervous, apparently above Isildur.
No, it's putting him below Isildur.
Below Isildur.
It's all monster lists are going to be hard to do anyway.
Yeah,
though,
that's
'cause-
it. That's it. That's why I left it till
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
Well, we shall move on to our first evil model, another monster.
Oh,
It's the Gully Shadows, who just came off the second GBHL 100 podium of the Shadows of Angmar Reign of Terror of the GBHL. So, Sam, as the
So it just
previous
begun.
person to podium with this list, your thoughts on Gulivar?
He's pretty damn beast. He is a lot harder to use now than last edition because you don't have wraith support. However, the stalk unseen rule is like the main thing that makes him actually even playable at the moment. Because bear in mind he's your leader, you could easily chip a wound off at D5 to shooting. And he's large target as well, I'm pretty sure, which is it's pretty bad. So
Not good.
the stalk unseen makes him playable, and like you need barrel rights pretty much to be able to use him is the thing, because if you actually want to, you can't really put him in a position any time ever where a following heroic move or combat or any scenario where a hero that can kill him would be able to be in range, unless you're paralyzed or unless they're paralyzed. So
Well, unless you just win a 50-50. Am I right, Sam?
yeah, or 3 combats off. That'd be well beast. But it's just like the play you have with him when it comes to using specters and stuff, with bringing the model forward and then flying 12, combating, flying another 12, like being able to move across the board 24 inches when your opponent might not plan for that, whether they might not see a certain spectre move or whatever, is like it's really hard to play against, admittedly. If you do jump on something, they are pretty much dead at strength 8. Still basically 10 attacks when you monstrous charge knockdown. Thing is, he requires his list, like he needs his list to do well. Like standalone, nearly all of these heroes would eat him basically, because he has no strike. He does have defense, but
I guess most optimal, usage of him. Not use case, yeah. The most optimal usage of him. What's his ceiling?
His ceiling is, I think he's, like I said, I think he's to use right all the time. I think is really difficult, like really, really difficult. But like if you do, I think he's in the bracket of kind of around that Randy Thorin territory for me personally.
I was going to say lemon off the
He
bat.
can even be lemon.
I
being on-
think
like,
Gulivar,
yeah,
a
his
12-inch
ceiling-
flying
His ceiling is the
is
the International
exactly.
Space Station.
There's
If you
basically
use him-
any play that you can make with him.
He's
in the game.
so punishing. If you mess up, or if you fail an intelligence roll, or if you don't see that the fourth spectre can
Something's
pull this
on.
dude out,
Yeah.
or you compel this, you just boom, you've been Gulivar.
The game
Put it
could
this
just be
way.
over. And it's
Yeah.
I've actually had this before playing Sam and other people with Gulivar, where something happens and you don't realise that it was there, and then suddenly things get a little bit hot and fuzzy in the head, and you're like, oh fuck. You sort of realise something, and the game's over. Like something
Those moments.
something happens. Sam loves it. Yeah,
I do live for those moments where it's like, oh god,
you just see someone start tweaking, and you're like rubbing
great.
the hands together.
He arguably could flash kill every single one of the heroes we spoke about already.
Yes.
So far.
Yeah.
In one turn.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
So
does that not make him top of
I
suit
think-
versus bottom of lemon?
I think
That's
he's bottom of lemon.
is where I'm thinking.
I think he is.
Sam, how consistent is he when you've used him to this like devastating effect that we're talking about?
he is
Yeah.
fairly consistent. Again, like the issue is that I think the counterplay towards him is there's a lot more counterplay you can do against him than some of these other heroes like your Boromir and your Aragorn. And again, he is so reliant, admittedly, on specters and Barrow-wights mainly. If you don't have the ability to pull stuff all over the shop, it then becomes really hard to get him into where you want. Admittedly, I've not played with him since the bards changed, so I don't think it's that big of a deal because you have specters. That's another way of moving stuff out of the way anyway. But I don't know. It depends if you're going to look at it from just a point of view of Gulivar or with the list as well, because he needs a lot of support basically to
It's
be
with the
used
list.
correctly.
Yeah.
Although, don't you think he's quite an impressive model and a list to face, Sam?
Oh, it can be, yeah. Like, if you not play against shadows and you're playing against someone that has used Gulivar a lot or has a good amount of experience, there's absolutely no way you'll have your big piece will most likely die turn 2 or something.
What about when you pair him with 3 Barrow-wights? What do you think on that, Sam?
He's pretty horny.
Really good.
It's just even the terror rule for actual spirit heroes where they can't charge. They struggle to charge your orcs, and as soon as they're your line or their line is kind of disjointed and isn't straight anymore, and the pocket's open, it just becomes really hard to manage over the course of the game for people.
I think
Gulivar is
It's a game-winning monster.
He's a game
Exactly.
winning. He is a game-winning model.
and he can literally
And
just do it like that. Like
It's the fact that he looks at the VPs in every scenario and goes, I can
do
get
that.
almost all of those for my user if I
my
have,
user,
all right, play it then.
my
Throughout the course of the game.
master.
Oh, he's got a banner.
He's
I'm gonna kill
low
him.
courage
he's got
as well.
this.
Yeah.
You got to remember he's low courage, but he's high intelligence. So and he's heavy, monsters. So heavy objects aren't a problem. So he can fly and do whatever. Like in scenarios, he's great. But again,
He's got a 6-inch move though.
Oh, like, it's
Sam, other point, because as you use him quite a lot. What do you use his might for? Just heroic combating or defensing?
Final point on this. Sorry, Sam, because we
mainly.
have to move on.
I think you have to use it for combats. Basically, like you have to originally go into a combat where like the likelihood of you losing it is very low unless you're kind of on the back foot in the first place, and then you have to basically use his might for those game-winning plays. Otherwise, if you're using it to kill warriors, that's not what you need to do. Because
Sorry, Ash. Is all of this about your game in Lincoln? Is this one?
Yeah,
I thought so.
I'm so angry about
that's
it.
what I mean. That's like if gaming plays are his bread and butter, basically. And if you use it to kill warriors, you're then going to die to a hero later on. Or to kill heroes. If there's a time where you can go kill the Blood Zone hero, that is the only threat to him in the entire list, then it's you use it for that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think this looks right. I think with him in Lemon, I think it looks good. He's
he
terror
can die.
of
Bear in mind, he's D5, no fate, and he's your leader.
yes,
In Lincoln against Ben, he got insta-gibbed. I charged in and died instantly. So it's like, oh,
Yeah. It's all about the
exactly,
pilot, I
200
think,
points.
with this model. Yeah, it could easily be a nervous or worst model if you're not using him properly. Because
then does that make him lemon if it's part of the situation?
I think
well, I
in
guess
this again, we've
optimal.
we've gone around the houses on this so many times. I feel like you've got to use your hero, or we've got to rank the heroes as if somebody who's very competent is using them.
Yeah. But I guess
Because
it
if
would be a feather in the cap of someone like Elessar if, he could be used by so many people, like he's that good. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I'm happy to have him there. I love the guy. So
yeah, Chad. Okay, well, we shall move on to Azog the Defiler, who has had some interesting changes this edition. So he's
you
now
go for this one because
I haven't actually used him yet, but I sort of
your
know
boy.
why I haven't used him. Yeah, so he's only 5 might now, so the White Warg has gone from 3 might down to 2, so that sort of sucks. In Army of Gundabad, you can't take him on the Warg, and I think that is just such a awful change. And it isn't like that list was really good anyway. That list wasn't oppressive, and then they took away him using the Warg. I don't think they needed to do that at all. They also nerfed him in that list where the Master of Battle is now, I'm just looking it up, is it a 5-up? Yes, a 5-up Master of Battle, where obviously last edition it was just a flat Master of Battle. And still the list wasn't doing super, super well. So they've nerfed Azog. Those are 2 pretty strong nerfs there. Outside of that, it's still sort of the same in like Azog's Hunters. You could take him in before, but you weren't taking him in Azog's Hunters anyway. And in Pits of Doggeldor, like this, the list still works sort of the same way. So he does the same sort of stuff, but like the lists that he was in just aren't as good as they were before. Obviously, Pits suffers from the Hunter Orcs being worse now, sort of overall. Although in that list, he still does the same sort of thing. I feel like there's something big that I'm forgetting, Sam. Was there a big change that I'm not thinking of? He lost the might on the White Warg, but I think I was under the impression at the start of the edition that he couldn't share the might, will, and fate now, because I think it used to be a rule in his profile where now it's not there. There's a hero mounts section in the rulebook where it says that you can share the resources. So I think I'm thinking about that.
I've played against Bolg more than Azog at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's only really viable in pits. I want to say,
but it's just like
even
he's
that's not great.
Yeah, it's like he's meant to lead the Army of Gundabad, in pits. But obviously, it was like that last edition. But it's just that list is now worse because the Hunter Orcs are worse. But it was super good last edition at certain points levels, so maybe that's fair enough. But losing the might point does hit him quite hard because it's only 1 might point, but in those lists you need him to do basically everything. So losing that is quite a big deal, and just not being able to mount him, I just do not understand that change. Like the list would still not be that good if you could mount him. So I don't see why they've done it. Like they've added in the whole thing with the banners to that list, but I don't think that does enough to compensate for those changes. So where would we rank him, I guess, is interesting. I can't see him going above nervous at all. Is he worse than that? Like,
he's not Spurs.
Obviously, putting Azog that low down feels weird, but obviously this is in the context of 5-7 heroes.
He's too many points for not enough benefit for the
how
list
many
itself.
points is he?
Like, he's 225 if you take the Warg in pits and stuff. So
he's 185 on foot, and he doesn't buff anything.
You basically need him to go 1 turn kill a hero, next turn kill a hero, next turn kill a hero. Then he's like, okay, you got your value from him. But otherwise,
which you can do, which of course he can do.
Yeah, he can do that. But
people are just going to run their heroes away.
The counterplay to that is pretty good, and it's like he just doesn't bring enough to the list. I think in general, I would put him dog probably like
above Imrahil though.
I was thinking, does he go above or below Imrahil? I don't know. I think that's
I've not seen anyone use Azog. I think I've seen more people use Imrahil personally.
I think I agree with that. Azog has really fallen off the fucking map this edition, which is a shame because I really like the model. But yeah, I think we're feeling good with that there. Okay, Azog in dog. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll move on to his son, it's Bolg, who got the
He's way more beast.
slightly better end of the stick this edition. Yeah, obviously they both were Fight 7 and stayed Fight 7. He's obviously not now on the stretch limo base, which I guess depending on how you used that, could be a nerf or a buff in some cases, but it definitely just makes things a lot easier. Sam, you've played against Bolg. I haven't played him or played against him yet, so what did you think?
Yeah, he's way better than Azog now. Like in general, I think it's again mainly because of the points you pay.
Yeah.
Like if you take him on Warg, he's still 195, and that can be shot out.
Yeah.
Fairly,
That is a lot of points, but
yeah. But it's the again, that list kind of wants a good amount of troops to be affected from its banners and the extra monsters you get with the ogres, the warbats and stuff. And I think if you take him, you can then get that as well. He's pretty good as a troop muncher with his rules where you kill one model, 3 models, 5 models, etc. And then he still has the ability to quite comfortably go toe to toe with any hero as well.
Any hero in the game. Like he's only one fate as a leader, which is sort of a drawback.
Yeah, but he's still D7. And I mean, it's like if he had defense, I think he'd be like really true, good.
Actually, yeah.
But like, I don't know. This is a weird one. I would personally think for his list, and
you can take him in Azog Hunters.
General,
Yeah.
Personally, I'd go above Dain, below Elrond.
I was thinking around there, maybe above Elrond personally, but I don't hate below.
See, yeah, Sam, I'm sort of agreeing with you about what you said before. I think Bolg is better than Isildur.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Bolg is better than Isildur.
It looks really sus there.
I don't know. We'll have to wait for Ash to come back before we start moving things around. But I think, yes, yeah. And I think someone else said earlier that they thought, was it you, Sam? Maybe that Elrond's better than Durin. I think Bolg might be better than Durin, although Durin brings a lot of extra tech. Actually,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like Durin is a value model that brings a lot to his list. And again, he can take cheap troops, which negates his high cost. That's why I think he's better. But
yeah, true. So Ash,
Elrond doesn't. The only thing he doesn't.
Yeah, Ash, we've put Azog in dog underneath Imrahil. And we're discussing.
Crazy.
We're discussing. We've gone back to the point on
the
is.
flail, surely didn't consider
We
the
did not
flail,
talk about the flail. Actually, it's that bad. We're talking about is Isildur too high again because we think Bolg might be higher than Isildur, but doesn't belong in Silly Nervous. Your thoughts on Bolg, Ash?
We did hype up Isildur a bit. I guess in the context of his list, the list itself isn't that great either.
No.
So it's kind of like, although he is good and although he does have the ring, maybe bring him down to top of Nervous and then slip.
Do we think there? And then Bolg, we were saying underneath Elrond. Do we think this looks better?
I think he's probably worse than Dain. Worse than
Elrond's better than Isildur, though.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you?
I said that. Yeah, it was me who said that.
Yeah, you did.
Bolg is good. Bolg is much better.
Bolg is good. I'm not going to lie.
I'll put Isildur first.
He is good.
I'm nervous.
Elrond, so Isildur's dropping down like 4 places a second at the moment.
Isildur's had a hard day in the office.
Isildur's been fucking digged on. That feels low for Bolg, but this is in the Fight 7. Obviously, middle of Nervous kind of indicates bad. But obviously, this is in the Fight 7 heroes tier list. So,
I think he's basically he does cost a fair amount, but he brings more to the list than some of the other heroes here. Even though it's just the fact he's on foot, he's killy. On Varg, he's extra killy. He then gets these buffs during throughout the game. It's like
But Elrond, I think, brings a little bit more that helps the list, and he's still a good profile where Bolg doesn't really hit that. So I think there's good. Yeah. Okay, we'll see where things shake out.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, we'll move on next to Birder, which is a model that I've been using a fair amount lately, and I think I'm taking it to contest as well. So Sam, as you explained in our glow ups episode, you were quite high on Birder.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I forgot kind of what he did. However, he is still beast.
Yes, having a look at the Birder profile. So he went up from fight 6 to fight 7 this edition. I think he was strength 6 last edition as well. He's now strength 7. He was D6 before, was he as well? I think he was strength 6 D6. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jay, you actually used him.
He was all the
bit.
6s last edition.
I remember you saying that. You quite liked Birder last edition, didn't you?
I think it's even better.
Yeah, he is.
I know you've used him, Elliot, so I'll let you. Talk about him in more detail.
He's still 3 wounds, 1 fate, which is fine, I think, for a leader. Obviously, monsters being better now as well. All the brutal power attacks is super nice. He's fairly intelligent at 5+. That's pretty good. 130 points is like pretty good value. What did I miss? What did I say? Did I say something like, he's fairly intelligent?
No, it's a.
Fight
6.
Nothing.
I was just so confused. I was like, I wasn't looking at you, so I didn't know when you started laughing. I was like, what did I say? Anyway, yes, Dominant 4, which is nice. General Hunter as well. When I've used him, I've found that to be of like limited value. Obviously, you do want him trying to kill heroes, I guess, but he can quite easily die. I think at 3 wounds, 1 fate, D7. He's not that sort of strong-willed in that sense. So that's okay. I guess in the list as well, he has the thing where you can pop out of the terrain. I think that is obviously super good. Limited sort of viability in certain scenarios, but where it is useful, it's obviously super nice to have. And he's got the reroll as well, which is really, really nice. So he's 4 attacks when he's going into infantry, 5 with a banner. So I guess killing stuff though, it's why I'm a little bit hesitant taking him to contests. Like he's only 3 dice to wound. Sure, he's strength 7, but like you could easily just roll a 1 and a 2 on the other 2 dice. You're only killing 1 guy, so like it's not that reliable in that sense all of the time. He still has the rule that he had last edition where if he kills hero or monster model, no, if he kills 3 hero or monster models, then he's a 6-inch banner for the rest of the game.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot.
It's such a shit rule. Like, it should be if he kills an enemy hero. Killing 3.
It is. Sorry. So if he kills 1, he's a banner. Yes. If he kills 3, he's a 6-inch banner. That's what I was just reading there. Yeah. So you kill 1,
right.
He's a normal banner. So that is nice, but again, like you're probably not committing him to trying to kill that much stuff, but he's the only thing in his list that is going to be able to kill something most likely, so it's interesting. Go on, Jay.
He's had a real glow up,
though, right? In the list. So you have got other trolls you can take in the army to.
Oh yes, of course. I guess in sure. Yeah,
from hero
better sword, the hill trolls. Yeah.
I thought he was great last edition when he was only fight 6. I know you could take him with Witch King, and you could do all the other nasty things. But like, he's so much better now as a profile. Like, I think he's great.
You compare him; he's only 130 points. It would be
good value.
What we should do is for next tier list, you should have the points levels on the picture, so because it really helps to contextualize how good they actually are. So for 130 points,
that would be.
Birder is so beast.
Yeah, that is good. So where do we think it lands him?
Intelligence 5+ as well for a troll is crazy good.
Yeah. I don't think he's quite silly nervous. I don't think he's quite there.
Yeah, I look at Elrond there, and I feel like that's a huge barrier to break for someone to get into silly nervous.
I think he's better than Elrond.
He's 60 points less than Elrond, though.
I think he's, to me, Birder is easily above Strider, but like you're talking around that territory for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that high.
Really?
Oh, wow.
He's 130 for all he brings.
That is super good. 130 is the headline.
The troops he brings, again, are like quite cost efficient compared to a lot of the other ones now. He gets high model count in his lists. He has a lot of plays on a smaller base compared to a lot of models, or a lot of monsters. He's an auto. He's so good for 130.
Yeah, maybe I'm underselling him there a little bit.
Yeah, the list is good.
Then I'd go above Durin, though, in that case. I don't think I'd put him above Strider.
See, Durin brings a lot to his list as well, though. Durin has a lot of tech in his profile.
So does Birder, and value for points.
Yeah, and he's a lot cheaper. Yeah, he's a lot cheaper, actually. Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's Birder and a warband for the equivalent of Durin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
What is really, really interesting is Berda
Barge.
getting a reroll in the duel when fighting against infantry models. I'm pretty certain it's something we suggested in our How Do We Make Monsters Better video. They've literally done it for him. So the fact he gets the
They're
5
paying attention.
dice to win the duel, he's
Yeah,
solving a lot of the monster problems there.
So
Sure, he's only got 3 attacks, but so do most monsters. He's still strength 7. He can still do all the brute power attacks.
do
Better
you
than
think
Durin,
above
not as good as
Strider?
Strider.
Not as good as
No.
Strider.
Free might's
No?
really hard to get.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
the free might. To be fair, that's a very big barrier going
that's
the
a
other
high
way.
bar.
Yeah,
I think he is personally. Like Strider,
Really?
he doesn't. What does he bring apart from the free might? Like the difference between Strider
That
and
is
Elessar
it.
is so big
That's it.
because
That's enough.
Well, free
Strider-
might is that good.
the thing is, Elessar has free might, but also brings a 8-point troop that is pretty darn good for 8 points or 9 points against shield for a Minister's Warrior. Strider brings a 15-point ghost, which is
Yeah.
then a lot more use. It's a lot more niche, and I guess in an all hero list he's good, but the actual viability of him in list isn't as high compared to Berda. Like
Berda he is climbing hard right now. He's doing the
It's
opposite of Isildur. He is currently in the spot that Isildur was in.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
being D7 as well is really is a massive buff because
Yeah,
it means
D6
that
is crap.
you need something
That's someone
with
like
+1 to wound, or you need something that's strength 5, which very few things are. Unlike Strider, Berda isn't likely to get flash killed.
Yeah.
Because you're much more likely to roll 5s with 4 dudes than you are to roll enough 6s to actually spike in that situation.
True.
I think for now we'll leave him underneath Aragorn, although Sam, you are convincing me. But we
I just value the kind of troop aspect as well. Like if you're
Yeah.
if you're cost
in the
efficient
list.
for your profile and also bring good troops, that's
That's
a
the
lot.
context
That's
of this,
really
isn't it?
good.
Yeah, I guess the troops that
Which-
you can take, is that like a product of the profile or of the list? But I guess we are
But it's
reviewing
like
everything.
kind of what
so-
you.
Yeah.
That's why I consider Durin better than Strider personally because he's
brings
actually
a lot
quite good
more
value
to
for
the-
the profile itself, and then he also is
Yeah, it's
backed by
interesting.
good troops. Like the list,
for
he
his
works.
list.
His rules make the troops better. Like it's kind of symbiotic.
Yeah,
However, Aragorn isn't.
no, and that is a product of the list that he's in. So
But
You've
it's
got
hard
to
to
take
it's hard
all
to
the
judge.
heroes in the context of all of their stuff, personally.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it doesn't work. If you don't, if
You're
you
not
don't
looking at
give
the
the
full
whole
picture.
context of everything about
Yeah.
them, it doesn't work.
no.
So I think Sam's
Um,
right to do that.
Yeah, we'll leave him there for now, but we shall revisit. So we'll move on though to some interesting heroes here. We'll start with the Dragon Emperor, the mighty Emperor. How he has.
I'm
fallen.
excited for the next
This
profile, but I don't know much
edition.
about the Dragon Emperor this edition. I haven't
You
seen
know,
it.
Well, he's not that different, really. He got a buff to fight 7. The fight 5 buff is still 6 inches, but the banner is now 6 inches instead of 12. This is Elliot in post-production stepping in here to say that, yes, I did get that wrong about the fight value buff. It's only 3 inches, not 6 inches like it used to be, and it's not tied specifically to the Emperor like the banner is. It's to any Black Dragon hero of which the Emperor is one. So it's only 3 inches. Not 6. He's essentially the same. He's now fight 7, and the banner's only 6 inches.
why is he fight 7? Is there a reason? I don't see a reason why he should be fight 7. Do you know what I mean?
I do sort of see it. I think in the lore, I'm not sure if he's a Games Workshop created profile, is he? I don't think he is. I think he's in the lore. I think he's like the Emperor. I think he's not mentioned that much, and they've sort of fleshed him out, but he's the Lord of the Easterlings. Like, he is meant to be like some insane fighter sort of person. So if you've got people like Ratabi who are fight 6, like Amdur, for example, who we have coming up next, he is underneath the Emperor. So the Emperor is like the top guy. So I don't hate him being fight 7 personally. And like, considering the nerf to the banner, like, he is a lot of points. Is he 200? Was he like 170 before the nerf, and now he's 200? Yeah. So
Yeah.
so he's 200, and if you make the banner smaller, like, you know, the list already isn't being played much. Does that mean it's not that good? I think it's still probably decent. But
They
it's
got
obviously
that
not
good
what it was
Pike plus on the
last
wound
edition.
value as well.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
not sure
in the
why
list.
it's not been seen.
On that
I
note,
think it is
Ash,
pretty
our
good.
fellow Gollum's gamer Ben Haslam used Dragon Emperor at the GT on the weekend.
Did he?
Just gone.
Nice.
How'd he do?
Did he? What did he say?
Oh, you know what? I don't know which games he won and lost though. Like with which list, but there were some lists where it still has all the tricks. You know, you got your phalanx, you got your drummer, you move quick, you've got your high fight.
Well, the drum's better as
especially
well.
in Good v Evil, with your fight 5 block. Like you're going to outgrind and outkill most things.
Yeah, the
I
plus
think
one's a
he
lot
said
better.
it went all right, but we'll have to have a chat to him to find out more
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, I think it is still good. But like, I think a lot of other things have got better around him. Where sure he's gone up to fight 7, but he hasn't changed much. Like the banner's obviously worse now, so I think he's still good. I'm not sure where it lands him though.
Anyone that's used him, feel free to comment in the comments below to let us know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he is.
I think he could be. I think he could be in the mix of silly nervous. It's just. I guess it's the. He's so many points.
I think maybe people are sort of like downplaying him, maybe because you don't see him.
He
now.
also had a bit of a bad reputation last edition, which
He did.
maybe makes people not want to take him so much. Like people were thinking of him as they're thinking of usurpers now, with that kind of
oh yeah, for sure,
taking that list sort of thing.
So I think he is still good. I wouldn't mind putting him like the very bottom of silly nervous, but I could easily see him being
actually
nervous.
not that many points either.
The issue I have with this is putting bottom of silly nervous is that like his closest comparison to me is Boromir.
Is Boromir, yeah.
And you put Boromir in middle of lemon.
Yeah.
And he's cheaper than Boromir.
He's less points than Boromir.
He gives a higher fight value to other troops than Boromir. He doesn't gain the +1 to the +1 to wound when charging, whatever. But he then has more dice to I don't know.
He doesn't have 6 might though.
Am I maybe putting too much stock into the list and how it's performing? But that does
the list
play
is
part of the but it's not the profile. Yeah.
The
base is obviously
it's just such a good.
It's a big problem though compared to Boromir, obviously moving around on a horse. Like he is very hard to move. And obviously you needed to, if anything, last edition with the 12-inch banner, that was a lot more forgiving, where now it's 6 inches. Like moving him on that base, like you need to have him in the right spot now.
He's a harder profile to use in that regard, you're right.
Yeah.
I guess it's maybe the Palanquin is the banner as opposed to Boromir just has the banner, which is the slight nuance difference there. But he is great. He is great. I don't know why I'm kind of like, I just maybe because I haven't seen him enough. He's not there. You don't remember how like good
that's it,
he
because
is. It's
just not as good now. But I guess in a vacuum,
pretty class.
He is pretty good, I guess.
Again,
I'm not against really nervous.
It was the troops he brought were really good last edition. And it was just a grindy situation, which I think he still does now. And the only difference is that they get +1 to wound.
You're not advocating for lemon here, are you, Sam?
No, but it's just interesting,
Durin.
you know.
Above Durin, 100%.
Above Durin, below Burda?
Value for points now is where it comes in, right? Is he above Burda? What he brings?
He does give 5/5 buff, 6-inch banner. Like, I'm selling myself on him. Yeah,
that's well hard. I think you could put him in lemon, and it wouldn't be nobody would be like, oh, shock, horror.
Yeah, to be fair, he looks kind of low there. I think the Emperor's a lot better than Elessar. Elessar, what the fuck am I saying? Strider.
Bruh.
A lot better than Strider.
His profile is completely stacked, and also
I think he's better than Strider.
It does bring good.
Right, we're giving him the Bird treatment right now. We're sliding him up.
Decent troop.
Okay, but then if we're going to do that, I agree with what Sam's saying. Do you not think he's better than Thorin then?
Is he going into Thorin Thranduil territory?
I don't think it's quite as good as Thranduil.
It's either that or it's like it's Boromir too high. I don't know. It's not easy.
I don't think he's lemon now, but is he? Yeah, I think he's good with Thorin and Thranduil, but does he go higher than them? I think with the change to the banner, maybe not. I don't know. His
banner is better than Boromir's, is the thing. It's like, bro.
Yeah. but he's not as much of a utility piece as Boromir is.
See, but that was his whole thing last edition.
He has the Elven made weapon, but it's like you can't get.
No, that's it. Like last edition, he was the utility piece with the 12-inch banner, where now he's less of that, but it isn't like he can do more on the other side of that fence than he did last edition. Like he's still just sits there.
I think he still is the utility
he
piece.
Is, but it's obviously
it's not the reason he got changed is because that last edition it was unbelievably OP.
Everyone just got rid of 12-inch banners.
People disliked playing against the Emperor because it was just like, oh, I'm playing against the Emperor again, you know. So, and playing against other models that had 6-inch banners wasn't an issue when you had like Suladan and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
you know, these things were still good, and it's just I don't know. It's a weird one to judge, admittedly.
Let's leave it there. No,
above Thorin.
I think above Thorin. Yeah.
Above Thorin, Sam? You think above?
I think he's around there, but it's
okay. Let's leave him there, and then we'll revisit at the end. In between Thranduil and Thorin for the Spotify listeners. Okay, we'll move on to the second Easterling hero. It's Amdur, who also had the buff from Fight 6 to Fight 7 this edition. A very interesting profile. Ashley, did I hear you say
used this model.
You have? The only one on the call, I think, then, this edition.
It's the last edition, but yeah.
I kind of think Amdur could be the bottom of lemon.
In a vacuum, I mean, yeah.
He is the perfect in a vacuum hero. He'd probably be Elessar, right? But what he does for the list is not quite as powerful. I need to rapidly.
It's a shame that it's a shame that the list doesn't really have anything that like makes him better or makes the troops better within range of him or something. Is there something in that list where he buffs them?
You just get to take him with chariots and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But he becomes toss on courage, right?
He gets toss on courage. Okay. It's the fact that he's 150 points. He's fight 7
on a horse.
Again, on a horse, which I think you want to take.
Oh no, he's not. Sorry, no. He's 160 on horse.
Have I done maths wrong?
You have.
Lol. Oh yeah, 25 points. Oh no. It's the he's got that. He's got Dirtus, the Elven made Dirtus, the Elven made weapon, which means he always wounds hero on a 5+. Pretty good. Hand and a half, so he can 2-hand to make that 4+ on heroes. He's also got the Herald of Victory special, which means friendly Eastlings treat Amdur as a banner. And then again, he has to slay the enemy general, and then he becomes a 6-inch banner. But this is the real nice
kicker.
The real kicker, the Lord of Blades. Whenever an enemy hero model is engaged in combat with Amdur, and they declare heroic strike, Amdur may declare heroic strike for free. If Amdur has already declared heroic action during the fight phase, then he may change his declared heroic action to a heroic strike, although he will still spend the might point, which leaves you in a situation where, because he's got the Elven Blade and he's fight 7, almost every other hero here, except for the other ones that have Elven made weapons, are going to need to strike against him because they're less likely to win. He's also getting that 5+ to wound on heroes, 4+ to wound on heroes if he's 2-handing. He's probably getting that fight 7 killing model or combat model for the cheapest points at only 160. He also gets he's a Black Dragon hero, which means he gives the fight 5 bubble, as we were saying, to the rest of his dudes. So he's like a mini Dragon Emperor. He gives a 3-inch banner. He gives the 3-inch Black Dragon +1 fight value, but he's 40 points cheaper on a horse, which obviously you can drum him around and get him super duper extra movement. I just think he's really good.
The horse being very easy to take out though, which we spoke about before.
D5, and he gets
but if you pay for it. Yeah.
Well, he also gets the rule where you can make his
Oh
horse
yes,
D6 in the
yes. Although that rarely
the
comes
Gleaming
up,
Horde.
but yeah, you can do that.
I still think
Um,
everything Ash has said, I think, is really viable and it sounds really scary. However, it just takes one fluffed strike off, and he's only D6, one fate to
Yeah.
just die, just die in one turn.
Drew's one fate D6
Yeah,
is
and
not great.
That's my only. If he was D7 with one fate,
Definitely.
I think he would be insane. I
Yeah.
just think the D6 one fate just makes him a bit of a glass cannon.
He is the glassiest.
And he doesn't
cannon.
like a lot of his value comes out of charging him into stuff to kill it. But
Yeah.
if you lose that, then he dies. So it's like, do you go for it, and when is like super important. And he doesn't do much for the list outside of that. He acts as a banner, but you're not getting VPs for it. So like you're having to pay to take a banner, and does that
He's probably better in Grand Army of the South because he won't be your leader.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. I'm thinking of these things.
You
list.
take him
Yeah.
as like, you take him in Grand Army of the South as like a killing hero that also brings
Yeah.
five troops. You could even do a really beast combo with, half trolls or whatever to get that sort of mix up. And that's where.
But I don't think
he's a
like
nice.
I don't think, sorry, he adds that much to a list outside of his killing potential, and like lots of these heroes in the very upper echelon of the tier list, they all do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that puts him underneath
I just had fun when I
them.
used him, so I was.
Yeah, I do really like the profile, but I can't see putting him above Thorin personally.
I don't think it's that high.
I don't see him above Berda or Durin personally, but
I think he's kind of better than Strider though.
I'd go top of Nervous
Are we
myself.
faded on
personally.
Strider?
Yeah,
you're
Yeah, to be fair, Birdo is much better value, actually. Yeah, I agree on that. I think Strider's too high.
If he loses his horse, his killing power isn't
That's
exactly
it,
exceptional.
yes. No.
All his rules are situational about killing.
Yeah,
like
you want to charge him into heroes,
certain models.
Yeah, but if
and it's
if
like
if he loses,
it's just the like Elliot said, the models that are up above realistically are kind of apart from Gulivar.
yes, he is the only outlier. But yeah, he does give the terror.
They don't need like even if they don't do their primary job
They're
of
still
killing models,
Yeah,
they
they're still doing
are
something
still
really good.
beneficial to a point where it's like this is actually not that bad. He's not in combat. He's not doing his job. I don't think a 3-inch banner for the points you pay is good enough.
It's a good point, actually. I'm not even sure he's higher than Durin now, thinking about it.
Nervous.
Oh!
Everything that he brings, Durin brings a lot. Do we think he goes in nervous?
Nervous, Elliot. I don't think
He's not exactly a great leader, and he's an expensive secondary point hero to fit in, and you sacrifice a lot if you do take that kind of thing when it comes to model count and stuff. So I don't know.
It's the Isildur treatment. He's going down.
No.
Yeah, in my opinion, Elliot, between Bolg and Isildur is where I'd put him.
Oh, that's a whole. That's like 6 places from where I originally put him.
It's hard to justify him as better than Elrond. That's the trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Elrond is so good. Elrond is good, but Bolg is pretty Chad as well. I would rather, I might rather have Bolg than Amdur.
You get a final say, Elliot.
Put him there.
I would rather have Bolg than Amdur, I think. I had him above Strider. Strider's too high, I think.
Lemon.
My point is really good, but Strider is lots of those other heroes like Elrond, Berda, and Durin are bringing a lot outside of just a might point, which is obviously really good. But we shall revisit it. Anyway, we'll move on to the Necromancer, who I must say, I really like this profile. I think we reviewed him in the last few months on MESBG Monthly in the one profile, but he had a 50-point reduction this edition, which is super nice. The casting is still as good as it was last edition. If anything, it's better because now you can take him in the Rise of the Necromancer list with an actual normal army surrounding him, so not just the race, as that's what that Legendary Legion was last edition. And it was in that Legendary Legion where he could cast twice per turn, where now you can have that really good rule in a normal list where you have sort of, normal troop numbers and all that sort of thing. So he's 50 points cheaper. He can cast twice a turn, which is really good. And he still does basically everything that he did before. He's got the really long range spells. I think they might have taken that away, actually. I'll check that now. But I'm pretty sure it is still the really long range spells, which is good.
And 12, which is...
They're not as good as they're not.
They
18,
also have, no, maybe they weren't that last edition. I'm thinking of.
They were never 18.
They never were. No,
Sauron
I'm thinking of
had 18
the Will of Evil, which I think his is 18, and I think it still is. Not Will of Evil. His Harbinger. Is it called Will of Evil? I think maybe it was Will of Evil.
No,
last
Harbinger,
edition.
then
It's just called Harbinger. Okay, I'm bugging.
So Will of Evil's the one where you lose a will point every
You
time
lose a
go
will
to
point in combat. Yeah.
and then die if you get 0.
Yeah. Dominant 5, which is really nice. I think he might have... No, he didn't have Strike last edition. But he's Fight 7. He was Fight 7 last edition, I believe, as well. He's still Strength 6. Oh, yes, but I think he's gone up to 2 attacks now base, where he only got that in that Rise of the Necromancer Legion, where obviously that was a decent list at times, but it's a very specific sort of all-hero list, where now he has the 2 attacks baseline in your quote-unquote normal list that you can take him in. He still has the 25 will that you can use as Fate, so... I think he's got quite a lot better. Where does that mean he sits in this, though?
1 attack.
2 attacks.
2 attacks.
2 attacks. Ah!
Someone's paying attention.
Sorry.
Where do we think it puts him? It's quite interesting. He's a very unique model in this list.
I think he's... I think this is a midway. This year was so far in that no one's going to be listening anyway. But I don't think we've told the channel that me, Sam, and James are taking the same list to every single event, every single GPH 100 that we're all going to this year.
Are you taking the Necromancer?
And I think this is one of the lists I'd like to try out. Everyone take Necromancer.
Oh yeah, because Nick gave you like 3, didn't he?
Yeah.
Shout out, Nick. He'll be listening.
Where actually are those, Sam? I need to think about where they are.
I gave you yours, mate.
Bro, they're definitely in some cupboard somewhere. Need to fish those out. But I think this could be a really strong combo with the Necromancer and his Wraith boys, maybe with a couple of spiders. And it was something that Farmer took at 1,000 points, and again was really keen on.
I played Farmer at that tournament actually.
As a list that he thinks is a list that has legs and could do really well. So I'm interested to play.
Yeah.
The Necromancer where do we think it?
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Because he's just so different to all the rest of them.
He's so different, but like he does bring a lot in his profile. I guess he doesn't buff things really, but like being able to cast 2 spells a turn.
He's mandatory in the list.
Yeah.
He goes in because like he makes the wraiths what they are.
He does buff the wraiths, doesn't he, in terms of the resurrection?
It's so hard to, yeah.
Oh yes, I guess he does buff the wraiths. Yeah.
In between Elrond and Bolg, personally.
Yeah, Bolg is really good, but so is the Necromancer. Like he brings a lot.
I will say one thing though: 25 will drops very, very quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone who's used him and played against him. I think I played against him 3 times in this edition, the last 18 months, maybe even back into last edition, and I think I've killed him in all 3 games. Because if you get a trap on him, get a trap on him, you inflict, let's say, 4 or 5 wounds. Effectively, that's about
you double
8
it, don't you?
That's just gone. Yeah,
that is hard to do a D8, but yeah, like if you had everything around him, like heroes 2-handing and stuff, like that can happen. He does still also have the he gets a free will point when he casts as well, so that is
you have to spend dice.
If
you only ever spend
that,
1 dice to cast anything, you get 2.
Yeah,
you
and you can do that
maximum
twice.
value.
So so that is really good. Are we happy with him there underneath Elrond? I don't hate it.
Yeah, don't disagree.
He's tricky to rate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay. And we'll move on to our final 2 heroes, which we could kind of rank in tandem, I think, here. We have, which of these 2 fuckers are they? I don't know.
So Bert is the first.
You're looking, Bert's the first one. Shout out Bert. And I did that last time we talked about these 3 drops. That's a throwback.
Elliot, Ash says shout out Bert, but I think I'm going to unfortunately do Bert a dirty here by saying I think he's absolutely awful in comparison to the other trolls.
To the other trolls. Oh
as
yeah,
compared
Jay,
to
you've
his-
used the
his-
3 trolls, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I
Yeah.
took him to 2 consecutive tournaments at the start of the edition just because I didn't really know what to take and wanted to paint them and build them for a while. So I took him to actually Into the West last year and then the GB last year. The list itself is great fun because you can just build it how you want to build it. But if we talk about the models themselves, obviously they don't really buff each other because it's just 3 trolls, right? They don't really have any benefit to them to each other per se. But the main thing about Bert is obviously he's fight 7, strength 7, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds. He is only 2 might now. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he might have been 3 might last edition. I might be wrong on that. But crucially, he doesn't have strike. He only has defense and strength, which I think is quite massive. And he, like how we were talking about the trees earlier, the Ents rather, he is the target anytime you play against this list. He's target priority number 1 to kill because he can't strike. You go in against him, even if you need his 6s, the 3 wounds, 1 fate, you should in theory do enough damage to kill him.
Tom as well is sort of but he has the sneeze thing, does he?
Correct.
The sneezy boy definitely gets
exactly.
Boom gets higher.
And he doesn't have any other special abilities. He's got the same abilities the other trolls do in terms of he's got roast them slowly about the campfire. You can put them in the campfire and set them ablaze, and he can keep them for later, which I think both of the other trolls have as well. He doesn't have any unique special abilities from memory that I can remember. And I think the lack of strike and the fact that he's, in my opinion, the target, I think puts him below the other troll that we're going to discuss in a moment.
Okay. So where do we think that is?
Personally, in comparison to the other 2 trolls, I think I'd put him probably in top of dog or bottom of nervous myself.
Above Imrahil.
It's very difficult because you're going to take him in one list, right, as well.
The real trouble with these trolls is if you immediately pay fat bellies and then he gets 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate, you're like, he's really good. It's just the mechanics of how this list is built. You could put him anywhere between probably top of nervous into below Spurs, right?
Yeah.
If you just take him as his base profile, it's a real challenge. I think for purpose of argument, I'd put him higher than Boromir, not as good as Azog.
Not as good as Azog. Sam?
I think I agree with that, Bash.
Happy with that?
Yeah, no, it's hard to rate because
it's unique.
It's mandatory in his list. He gets buffed, so he gets better, more points, but then he gets worse because it's only 3 models still at high points, and it's not easy to do. So
yeah, fair enough. And what about Sneezy Boy then? Just 1 above, or?
Well, see, I think he's a lot better.
He definitely is better.
I think he's nervous, minimum nervous.
I mean, he's fight 7 value.
Even though he's only strength 6, defense 6, and I know you give him full bellies as the first special rule.
I think we have to sort of take that into account because
you're not
never running him without that. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's better than Elrond.
But with or without full belly. The only caveat I'd say is, even though his special ability, Lingering Cold, is amazing, and he effectively can do it, you can only do it 3 times, is what I'm trying to get at. But the only other crucial thing is, he can only ever do it to 1 model in combat, which means if you just double gank him and put 2 strikers in on him, he can't do anything about it, because he also doesn't have strike.
Arguably, so he can't do it with 2.
He can defend, but even then, I think that makes him a lot better than Bert, but not as good as Bill. But I think I'll put him in nervous.
Are we going to put him in nervous above
he could
Imrahil?
be the bottom of nervous, and then it makes it look very nicely. Got some very nice standard.
They're represented.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. So below Birch Seed.
Yeah.
Do we think? Okay.
On par.
On par. Okay, we'll leave it there. Right, we've done it. So.
Wow.
What needs moving? Any bugbears? I don't like the look of Strider there.
We've been talking about him over and over again, haven't we?
He's got to go down. The might is good, but he doesn't. Yeah, Birdo and Durin bring a lot
silly
more.
Nervous. I don't mind that change. I think that's justified.
I maybe see
above
Elrond going up into silly nervous though.
Agreed.
Bottom of silly nervous, but I think he's on par with an Aragorn and a Durin. He does bring a lot in his profile.
He's just not as good, and he's so much more expensive.
Do you think he's better than Strider though, in terms of what he brings?
Well,
value-wise, Elrond.
I think Elrond being in nervous, I think he is better than nervous.
I don't
I think
see
you
it
can think of
personally.
Elrond as the quintessential, perfectly pointed, middle of the road hero that does some
No.
things but not everything brilliantly. Like,
Yeah.
I think there is almost it is the perfect position for him. Right, he's not broken.
That's what he is. Yeah.
He's not overcosted. He's not undercosted. His rules are good, but they're not super broke. You know, he's like, if every model was pointed as well as Elrond, I think the game would be in a really good place.
But sorry, Sam. Comparing him to every other hero in Nervous, I think he's a lot better though. That's the
why.
thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think he is just a slight tick above.
Yeah.
The issue is that the two rules which he brings to the army, like beneficial wise, are both kind of luck based when it comes down to your Rathabunen, especially if you don't take your Lindy or whatever. If you roll poorly on that, that rule is completely useless. And it's the same with his 4-star points, really. Like, if you roll a 1 on your 4-star points, it's also pretty dire.
We didn't actually. We didn't mention about his super cracked ranged Brunin thing.
With the Rivendell,
which is kind of lit.
It's only if you're broken
when you're broken.
Yeah.
But you might break in lots of games, and then you get a pretty. You know, you could win a game or something like that, maybe, but maybe.
The thing is, though, if you roll insanely well on those two rolls, then I would put him.
He goes up. Yeah, that's fair.
Thorin,
so
maybe Dragon Emperor.
Yeah.
But if you then roll shit on it, I'd put him Imrahil on territory.
So maybe this is where it levels out. Okay. I see.
It's still
I see
190
that.
points for that.
Lots of that is luck. Yeah, like you say.
It's not constant. Like, I guess the threat of it can make someone play differently and do kind of things. But
you could also say with the casting for like the Necromancer, like if he rolls badly on it, then he's going to be lower down, right?
But he's got better values. He's got
especially.
more will. He provides buffs to his consistent buffs that are.
Yeah,
I think
you only get a couple chucks of the dice with the Rathaburin in, and if it doesn't go well,
it's
then you don't have
expensive troops as well with Elrond. Like, it's if his troops cost 10 points or 9 points, you're like, oh, okay, I can get a lot more to do to it.
I'm just gonna like, how does this look? Maybe that does look a bit wrong, actually. Yeah, he's sort of leading the charge for the nervous folk. Okay,
Strider's still a weird one. Strider's is always gonna be odd, but
any other bugbears, Jay?
I'm not sure about Captain of the White Tower, Boromir. I think he
might. Really?
Yeah, I think a bit too high,
does
maybe.
Gulivar look good there? Sam's loving this. What do you think, Boromir? Ash? I think Boromir's got to be better than Thranduil. Boromir is so good.
Yes. Yeah. So my thought was, I thought Boromir may be top of Silly Nervous. I think it was Sam's Dragon Emperor comment that kind of. See how does it look?
I think Gulivar should be above.
No, I'm not sure about. I don't know.
I think I'm more focused on the bottom end of the table here. I think maybe Bert could go into Spurs.
I'm not against that, actually.
We need someone down there with Santa Helm. Come on.
I'm thinking about.
I'd rather see Boromir in there personally.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but Boromir is fucking
dog shit.
D5 no fate.
It's cheap, 6 might.
Yeah, but you just instantly die. Yeah, 6 might is crack.
He dies before you get there.
Nah.
Yeah, that would be shit.
Nah.
I guess you have like the
you got Frodo's a fire.
Yeah, light,
right? So yeah.
God, it'd be hilarious to put Azog in Spurs.
Yeah.
One of the best heroes in the game.
No. I think Bert's the only one that could drop to Spurs.
That's what I mean.
Do you think Bert, Sam? Are you fine with that?
Yeah. Again, it's so hard to rate all months of this. Like,
are we keeping Santa Helm at the back?
Yeah.
Santa Helm is terrible.
Yeah, Santa Helm is dog shit. Going back to Boz, then, are we keeping him in Lemon?
I was trying to distract from Boz.
No, come on, Ash.
I think he would be. It would be very harsh to not put him in Lemon. I don't necessarily mind him being below Gulivar, considering Gullivar's potential.
He doesn't buff the list though, but he can
really
do.
Good.
Yeah, he can do things
but
that Boromir can't.
Boromir, within the context of his list, does absolutely everything. Like he literally covers all bases. He's got the +1 to wound. He's got the banner. He's got the horse. He's got, the defense. He's got all the stats everywhere. The only thing he doesn't have is an Elven Blade, but it's like...
Yeah. So underneath Gulivar, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think Ash's little summary there sold it for me. Yeah. Keep him in lemon.
Okay. Anything else? Or are we good? Do we think that's it? Any final?
I think a lot of people will disagree with Gulivar being that high based on the other rankings we've done. However,
Sam, those people who disagree, wait till they play you in a game, and when you do 30 bits to them, then
it's just like
wait until the red hot brain fuzz starts setting in, then you're really gonna know.
The only real problem is that the Witch King from Host of the Witch King isn't in here at fight 7, and he would be above Gulivar and Lemon.
Maybe in the next edition when we redo this tier list.
Good Host of the Witch King made me beat your depths. I don't think it could have.
No. Gulivar. Right, that's it. That's a Patreon only.
Jesus
clip
Christ,
right there.
Exclusive.
We'll explain that bat rep.
Sam's reeling in the Patreon subscribers right now. That's why he's there. Love to see it.
5 scatter on Fish and Frenzy.
Okay, well, I think that's going to close out. If you're listening on Spotify and you want to see the full tier list, you can go over to YouTube to check it out. Although I think the video is on Spotify as well, so maybe you can see it there as well. But yes, I'm not going to run through the tier list as I usually would. Go on, Ash.
Can you share this with the viewers so they can do their own tier list and send it back to us, and we can be like,
we could review people's tier lists. I can look into that. Maybe look in the description and see if there's a link there to the tier list.
I
think you might be able to share it, and then people could screenshot it and then message it in on Instagram. Maybe.
If you see us at a tournament, come show us and talk to us about it and tell us.
There you go.
Let
us know in the comments. There we go. Okay, well, on that note, I think that will close us out. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode here.
You didn't read the tier list for the audio listeners.
I just said I wasn't doing that. He does this every time. He closes it in every outro now. Anyway, okay, that's going to close out. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode of the Gollum Gamers podcast.